days. So stop in today and let us find the right set of Michelin tires for you. If you value longevity, check out the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest-lasting family of tires on the road. Whether you drive a car, minivan, SUV, or truck, you'll be able to do more for more miles. Come visit our team of experts at Wayland Tire so we can match you with the right tire for the way you drive.
Wayland Tire. We know tires.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Out here, we love our animals, from the wildlife to the livestock. Inside, it's the same. They're just like family. We keep them happy and healthy, most of the time. Secondhand smoke puts pets at risk for cancer, feline lymphoma, vomiting, increases the risk of tumors and lung cancer, even causes eye and skin disease. Secondhand smoke puts your pet's life at risk.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
All Saturday, Rocky Erickson alongside Greg Upham, Frontier Conference Football. The Saints are 1-1 on the year, coming off a huge win as they got by Rocky 44-7 last weekend. Their defense was outstanding in that victory with 3 interceptions. MSU Northern 1-2, and Northern, Greg, they have never won here at Nelson Stadium.
22 times Rocky before Northern's been here and has not won. Northern, excuse me. But I'll tell you what's interesting today. Today's different, Rocky. Today is different. Why is it different? Well, there's a different head coach on the Carroll sidelines. There's a different uniform on the Carroll players. There's a different team from Northern Montana. I watched them play Rocky at Rocky 2 weeks ago. This should be the different game of the week.
I love it. Adams is back with Sipes. It'll be the Fighting Saints who will get to football first. I did their first game at Montana Western. This is the first time in 3 games that Carroll has not faced a nationally ranked team. And they were right in the game with Montana Western right up until the final play as the Bulldogs won 31-24. It's Hall of Fame Saturday. And later on in the second half, we'll have Mike Van Diest, former head coach here at Carroll College, who led the Saints to 6 national championships. He'll be in the booth. And Bruce Parker, he was the athletic director for 5 of those 6 national championships. And, you know, when the Hall of Famers come in the booth, Greg, that's when you and I, first we bow down.
Move over.
Exactly. It's like whatever you guys want. Great to have you here. And this game is underway. It's going to be a short kick. The Saints will take it to the 15-yard line, out across the 25 and the 30. And now we get to see Mr. Burgess. How about that young man, Matthew Burgess, 5'11", 195-pound freshman from Junction City, Oregon. He went for 111 yards in Game 1 against Montana Western, 153 yards, and 3 touchdowns against Rocky. The last Carroll College player to win Frontier Conference Player of the Week, that was 4 years ago. So congratulations to that young man, Matthew. And Ferris will come in motion. Bridgewater wants to throw on first down, and Bridgewater going to Sipes, and Sipes almost had a great catch, but it was also defended very well.
Yeah, and how did you like the opening play? I mean, the coaches for Coach Purcell for Carroll College was not holding anything back, Rocky. I mean, he stretched him immediately. He knows what this Northern team is capable of. They've got a great defensive line. The mantra on the back of the coaches' shirts is iron sharpens iron, and when I talked to them, they said competition every day.
Rose is the one that broke that up for the Lights. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Bridgewater has completed 48% of his passes on this season, and Burgess gets the call, and that's going to be a pickup of 5 for the Frontier Conference Offensive Player of the Week. 264 yards on the season for Mr. Matthew Burgess.
When you go back in Coach Purcell's coaching history, Rocky, he is a high offense, high octane, high output coach. You go back to Havre, you go to Bozeman, you go to Idaho. Every place he's been, they put points up, and we saw it the last couple of weeks.
Well, Carroll suffered a year ago. They only averaged 16. This year they're averaging 34. 3rd down and 5 for the Saints. From the 35, the first offensive possession. Bridgewater's got time. Bridgewater can run. Bridgewater's going to get the first down across the 40. Bridgewater to the 45-yard line. A nice scramble for the quarterback. Devin Bridgewater, you know, he had some great teams in Bozeman in 2013 when Purcell was the head coach of the Bozeman Hawks. They averaged a double-A record 50 points a game. They went 13-0. Tight end Will Disley, well, he's with the Seahawks right now, playing on Sunday.
Not a bad trigger man for you right there, Rocky.
Ferris and Sipes split out wide to the right side on 1st down and 10. A great scramble for Bridgewater to get that first down. Burgess on the carry again. Is going to come off the right tackle. And how about that run? Greg, how about the run after the initial hit? I mean, Burgess was hit a yard into that run, and he still got 9 yards. Wow.
He has that rare ability, Rocky, of being able to stay north and south as he's moving those hips and shoulders. You know, how did he get to Carroll College? You know, those are the big stories. Oregon State offered him a preferred walk-on. He's from Oregon, and he said, well, he was a little bit upset with that. Carroll came in and said, we'll give you a full ride. He said, where's Helena? Away he goes.
And he's starting in place of Major Ali, and he's been their main back the last couple of years. Inside Lights territory. It's going to be 2nd and short. Bridgewater got all day again and overthrew his intended receiver. That was Joe Ferris. How about that offensive line for the Saints, giving him all kinds of time? And the starting lineup for the Saints, Bridgewater, the quarterback. Major Ali not starting. Burgess is the starting running back. Sipes, he's been around forever. Ferris, another outstanding wide receiver.
You bring up a great point, Rocky, with the offensive line. And you know what they did when Coach Purcell got here? He moved Alex Castens, who was the center in some of those dominant teams, back to the offensive line to coach. And I think we see a big difference.
Tight formation. And first man through and move the chains. That is another Carroll College Saints first down. You know, they struggled offensively a year ago, but now, after just 2 games, the Saints are leading the Frontier Conference, averaging 516 yards a game. And you got to love this, Greg. 46% of their offense is through on the ground and 54% through the air. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jenkins had strong safety, has been outstanding. Rose had that great pass breakup on that long 2nd down play. Ferris will come into motion on 2nd down and 10 for the 43. Bridgewater, all kinds of protection. Sipes is wide open, makes the catch. That's going to be a Saints touchdown. That's going to cover 43 yards. And Carroll College on Hall of Fame Saturday strikes first.
How about this, Rocky? 2 deep balls on first down. You don't think Coach Purcell is making a statement? He's telling Northern, you're going to have to defend us all the way. It's a 42-yard completion. Last week, a 46-yard completion to Sipes, and he's going to stretch him out, and he does a great job, and Bridgewater delivers a home run.
Kvek on for it's Kraft on for the PAT. Kraft is 8 of 9 on the season. Snap back, the hold is down. The kick is up, and the Saints out on top 7-0 on their first offensive drive Very impressive.
Well, I think what's really neat to watch here, neat if you're a Carroll fan, not so neat if you're a Rocky or a Northern fan. You've got me screwed up with your name being Rocky. With their defensive line is for real, and Coach Purcell has gone right at it. We saw Burgess make some good runs. We saw Ali make some good runs, and so it'd be interesting to see how this unfolds, because Northern does have a good defense. As I said at the beginning of the broadcast, they're different. This is a good defensive unit. This is a good team from Northern.
Powell and Williams Jr. are back to receive the kick from Josh Kraft. What an impressive opening drive for the Fighting Saints of Carroll College, coming off that huge win from last week where they knocked off the 23rd ranked team in the nation in Rocky, and that game wasn't even close, 44-7. Now Northern does have a win this season. They won in Phoenix, 100 degrees in late August, and Arizona Christian, they're picked to be one of the top teams in their conference this year. Remember what Rocky did. First week of the season, they knocked off number 9, Dickinson State. How good is the Frontier? Well, it's the SEC of NAIA football. And that kick will be picked up at about the 7-yard line. Great open field tackle for the Saints.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you can take a look at what Carroll's doing all over the football field today, I mean, they are ready to play. And it's a hometown crowd, too. Make no bones about it. There's probably roughly 4,000 or 5,000 people here today. Take a look at Carroll's
They're led
offense.
by their quarterback, Medina. Medina, a redshirt freshman out of California. Taylor, the running back. The Lights, they have 15 players from California, 16 from the state of Washington. Medina out of the shotgun. Medina, he was going to go deep on first down as well. It's incomplete. And Kowal Davis was the intended receiver. Greg, you got to love it. Both coaches, first play from scrimmage, hey, we're going to go for it all.
Well, you know, Coach Rowland, he's an offensive coordinator himself, spent a lot of time in California, so he just said the same thing that Purcell said. Rocky, okay, you want to play that game? We know how to play that game, too. We have speed, and we can throw the ball far.
Kresge leads that defense with Kvek for the Fighting Saints. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. They're going to work from the 18-yard line. And this time they're going to go on the ground. And with the carry on the first running play is Cameron Taylor, and Taylor's only going to get about a yard.
Well, a question mark for Northern Montana College is the offensive line. That is not their strength. That's where they are young. They're trying to develop there. And Carroll's display of defense, not only against Western, but also against Rocky, has been dominant. So that will be a challenge for Northern Montana.
The Lions average just 107 yards a game on the ground. It's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 9. 5 wide receivers set to go out. Medina will air it out. Found his receiver. And that's going to be a 1st down to the 32-yard line. And making that catch out of Belt, Montana, Keegan Stroop. Those Class C players can get it done, Greg.
They can. And, you know, I don't know if it's Shepard or Stenerson, 27 for Carroll, but he came onto the ball, Rocky. He just didn't get it juggled loose. So here we go. We might be seeing a track meet today.
Kowal Davis split out wide the left side on 3rd down and 9. The Lights get a huge pickup. And they're going to go end around now, a reverse. And Keegan, who made that big catch, goes down. And he goes down hard, and that was a nice tackle by Chase Bowen.
Boy, you see the speed on the field, don't you, from his middle linebacker position. He just came up and filled that right in. Brings up a 2nd and long. And I know Coach Rowland does not want to get in 2nd and long and 3rd and long, because then that's when Carroll will tee off and come at him.
Saints lead 7-0, just underway. Damari in motion. Jet with the carry. Jet sweeps around the left side and goes nowhere. Maybe a gain of a couple. That's Jet Robertson out of Arizona. You got the first name, Jet, Greg. You better be fast.
Yeah, I don't think you have a choice, do you, Rocky? I mean, when Mom named you or Dad named you Jet, you're probably not going to be an offensive lineman if you're named Jet. And if you are an offensive lineman named Jet, then you're going to get picked on a little bit, I think.
If they come up short, I bet they go for it. Medina, 3rd down and 7, line of scrimmage to 30-yard line. They're going to go on the ground. Robertson inside the 25-yard line, just short of the first down. That's Cameron Taylor, I believe, on the carry. And now it's going to be 4th down and less than a yard from the 24-yard line. That would be a 42-yard field goal attempt. Their place kicker, DJ Dakin, he's been good from 44 this year, but they're going to go for it. Why not, Greg?
Was a big play right here for both sides.
4th down and 1, 4-down lineman for the Saints. Medina is going to keep it wide open, and his receiver could not bring it home. Oh, my.
I like the call, too. I mean, it takes a lot of guts. Coach Rowland, he is rolling in Haver. I'll tell you this, he does a play action in a release, a delayed release out of the tight end. Just overthrew him, just too open. Oh, they want that one back.
Eisenbarth, the intended receiver, he should have had that one. That should have been 6 points. This game should have been tied. What a great play call.
I like the call.
1st down and 10, the Saints, their second offensive possession. The Saints lead 7-0, 8:50 left to be played. This is quarter number 1. Burgess gets the call, tries to cut left side, gets by one tackle, eludes another one, and gets the first down. A gain of a dozen. Matthew Burgess, 5'11", 195-pound freshman. He's been over 100 yards in his first 2 games this season. Look at Burgess gets hit behind the line.
Where these types of backs are dangerous, Rocky, is when they can turn, get the foot planted, and then get vertical, and that's exactly what he can do.
Ferris split out wide to the right side. It's going to be another first down for the Saints. 1st down and 10. They work from the 36-yard line. Give it to Burgess again, another big hole. The 45, midfield, one man to beat. Burgess brought down from behind at the 33-yard line. Oh, man, Powell saved a touchdown for the Lights, but Burgess is having another big game, and look at the great job that offensive line did. That is a huge hole. Greg, you could have had a yard or two from that hole.
I think I could have. I mean, I may have even gone 5, but you see that walled off. Again, I talked about Alex Castens earlier about the offensive line, and we're seeing it develop right now.
Major Ali goes off left tackle for a nice game. Major Ali, he had 66 yards against Western, 41 against Rocky Mountain College, but against Northern, last year he had a 133-yard game. And then during his sophomore season, he went for 161 against the Lights. And the Saints offensively are moving the football well here. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 from the 27-yard line. Long count. Bridgewater to Major Ali. He'll try the right side. The 20, the 15, the 10. Major Ali down to the 5. And we have our first penalty of the game. It's all about that Saints offensive line. They have been fantastic.
Boy, when you take a look at their offensive line, Tanner Steele, Jr., 6'4", 290 out of Washington. Their guard, Carter, 6'3", 300 out of Gooding, Idaho. The center, Luke Glessman, 6'4", 280. The other guard, J.D. Lyle, 6'3", 285. And their right tackle, Hoffman, 6'6", 295. It's a wonder the field isn't tipping off one side, Rocky. But what you look for when you're a defensive coordinator, you want to see if you have color. Do we have color there? There isn't any color, so that means everyone's getting blocked, and that's a problem.
And they're going to push him back. 15-yard penalty against the Saints will bring it back to the 20-yard line. 7:08 left to be played. Here in the first, Saints lead 7-0. And they're knocking on the door again. 1st down and 10 for the 20. Burgess is back in the game. 3 wide receivers left side. Quarterback keep. And Bridgewater goes nowhere. And Bridgewater is stopped from behind by B.J. Hacker out of Laurel, Montana. The Locomotives. Boy, they've got a nice complex there.
Boy, they sure do. And they draw people to their community, too, because of it. You know, I like the play call. Rocky, I mean, he is going, Coach Purcell is going back and forth and in and out and outside and inside. They're doing just about whatever they want.
That's going to be a loss of about a half a yard. 2nd down, long 10. Major Ali is back in at running back for the Fighting Saints. And the quarterback, Bridgewater, is going to roll left. Bridgewater to the corner, the end zone in traffic. And that ball is deflected out, incomplete. Again, nice coverage on the part of the lights of MSU Northern. Intended receiver was Kyle Pierce. Another flag.
See a little flag on the field. That's usually
could be a hold.
Indicator of holding. It just has, Northern's defensive front has been non-responsive right now. Defensive holding.
It's going to go against the lights.
2 big penalties propelling this drive forward, Rocky.
Well, last week, Saints got off to that great first quarter start against Rocky, propelled them to an easy 44-7 win, and hey, they could go up 14-0 early on in this first quarter.
And if I'm Northern, I don't know whether to defend the pass or the run because both are working.
Sipes to the right side, second down and short. Major Ali back in the game. Ali gets the call, first down, and Major Ali down to about the 7-yard line. It's going to be first down and goal for the Fighting Saints.
You see both backs are very patient, Rocky, as they're behind the line of scrimmage. You see them sliding sideways left and right, just waiting for those seams to open up in that inside zone. And Northern is not responding to inside zone at all.
A year ago, the Saints averaged just 16 points a game. They're averaging more than 34 already this season and averaging more than 500 yards a game in total offense. First and goal at the 7-yard line. High snap, and Bridgewater wants to throw. Pass is complete into the end zone for a touchdown. It's Tony Collins, and Tony Collins has his 3rd touchdown of the season, and the Saints have scored again.
Was a nice RPO by Bridgewater. That's a run-pass option, and that's exactly what he did. You see him, he has a chance to give the ball or throw it. He reads the defense, holds it in, pulls it back, decides to throw, and then now you've got a size differential, a huge mismatch on the outside, 6'4" versus 5'8". Who do you think's going to win, Rock? Well, you'd know because you're 5'8", and I don't know if you've battled 6'4" or not, or tried to, but maybe you've tried. You probably won't win.
Exactly. PAT attempt, Josh Kraft is on. Kraft's kick is up, and it is good. And the Saints lead 14-0. Be back with more right after this.
At First Security Bank, we believe that the banking experience should be both simple and efficient. We've invested our resources to provide our customers with the highest quality services and optimal banking tools. When you bank with First Security Bank, you're not only getting the most personalized banking experience in Helena, you're working with a bank dedicated to helping Helena thrive. Visit us in person or online. First Security Bank, locally owned, community strong.
When it comes to repairing your vehicle, make sure you choose the most experienced and well-equipped repair facility in Helena, Capital Collision Center. We are Helena's only Honda, Acura, Nissan, Ford F-150 aluminum, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Fiat, GM, and Hyundai certified repair facility. Montana Law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center at 1006 Euclid Avenue.
Capital Collision Center, Helena's first choice in collision repair.
First drive, the Carroll College Fighting Saints score a touchdown. Second drive, they score another touchdown. 128 yards of offense. 5:30 left to be played in the first. Not a bad start. And how about the second week in a row they've done this, Greg?
Yeah, they're averaging 500 yards of total offense a game, a week.
Kraft getting set on the kickoff. Williams and Powell are back. For the Lions, it'll be their second. Offense, onside kick attempt, and they cover. And the Saints have the football. TJ Abram, the wide receiver out of Powell, Wyoming. You're up 14-0, and you go with the onside kick.
And what does that do for your sideline when you see that and they knew it was on, and that's the excitement that Coach Purcell brings to the game? Oh, my gosh. Is he a Kentucky, Tennessee, or Nevada gambler, Rocky? One of them.
Unbelievable.
And it's timed up perfect, too. I mean, you can't do it any better than that. Oh, if I'm Coach Rowland, I'm talking right now. All right, boys, we better settle in or it'll be a long trip back to Havre.
Now the Lights know what Rocky experienced last week. Sipes will come into motion. Major Ali gets the call. Penalty flag is down. Stop the play. Well, Greg, I got to tell you a quick story. My cousin Dennis Erickson, the wheat farmer from Vida, just got out of the harvest field, came to my West CMR game last night, drove me to Helena today for this Carroll game, and Marty has him running a camera across the way. You know, but if you can operate a $700,000 combine, you can operate a camera. It's the same thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're just the buttons are about the same. I mean, the lift might be a little bit smaller than the header you're driving, but other than that, you should be fine.
First down and 15. Major Ali to the left side, and Ali for a couple of yards. And boy, do the Lights need a stop here. Down by 2 touchdowns. The Saints convert a surprise onside kick, and they really need a stop here.
You know, Umi Tuatata, the defensive tackle for Northern, is a player. I mean, and he's a big body, and that's the first time that they've been able to sustain the line of scrimmage, and Northern's defensive front is a good defensive front.
Sipes will come to the right side. It's going to be second down and long. Second down and 14. Bridgewater wants to throw again. Nice protection. Bridgewater will scramble. Midfield 45. Bridgewater picks up 5 yards. It's going to be third down and long. And that's what, you know, you known about Devin Bridgewater. You knew he could run coming in. He scrambled for 79 yards in that win last week against Rocky. As a team, Carroll College is averaging 5.6 yards a carry. That is impressive.
Tell you what forces defenses to play honestly, Rocky, and that's vertical threats to them. And what does Coach Purcell done? What has he done so far? He's pushed Sipes deep 3 times in the first quarter alone. They have to honor Sipes' speed. One of them was a 42-yard touchdown pass, so he'll use him again.
Bridgewater 2 for 4 on third down and long, puts it up, incomplete. Ferris was the intended receiver. Ferris with 6 catches for 89 yards on the season. And now it's fourth down. So, for the first time this afternoon, the Saints have stopped Carroll College, and they're going to get the ball back. But an onside kick up 14-0 in the first quarter. Wow, you got to love it.
Well, if I'm Coach Rowland, I'm very happy right now. You consider the onside kick a turnover, Rocky. They stop that midfield. They get the ball back. That's a big win for Northern right now.
Quebec will punt, averaging 39 yards a kick, and this is a beauty. This one bounces at the 1, try to keep it in, unable to do so. And that is a 44-yard kick. And the Lights of MSU Northern will come back on the field. 59 yards of total offense this afternoon for the Lights. Since Northern brought back football in 1999, when Greg was still in high school, Carroll College leads in a series 36-2. They've won 22 of the last 23 games. MSU Northern has never won here. Be back with more right after this.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
On February 10th, I had my last drink, and have been sober ever since. When I was in treatment for alcohol, they sort of told me not to worry too much about the smoking, and I definitely found myself writing that excuse for a long time. About 5 months later, I also quit smoking. Quitting smoking is possible. Quitting drinking is possible. And the life that you get to have afterwards is so much better.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. Performance, pride, and passion, 3 things that define the rich legacy of BF Goodrich Tires and the lasting partnership that we've shared over the years. Like the ever-popular BF Goodrich KO2 tire and all the Advantage TA line of tires, stop in and talk to your local performance experts at Wayland Tire and get set up with the right type of tires from the company that invented performance, BF Goodrich.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
Carroll Davis out of San Francisco juggled the football and brought it home. And another big first down. And how Medina got out of that and got his throw off, I'll never know. But what a great catch. Look at that.
The safety does a good job of coming up and trying to break it up, but what a great catch.
First down and 10. The Lights work from the 45-yard line. Play action over the middle. Pass is caught. Short gain. Gain of about 5 yards. And making a stop for the Saints of Carroll College is
Nate McGree.
Nate McGree. He's got an interception last week out of Butte Central. How about Butte Central? Barely over 100 students. They play Class A. They could qualify if they wanted for Class C.
Don't say that out loud. You might have to drive through Butte sometime. Just don't say it out loud, Rock.
You got to love what Butte Central has done.
Absolutely.
Second down and 5. They keep it on the ground. Jet hit behind the line, and Jet will go nowhere. Jet is stopped dead.
Northern having a hard time trying to get any inside run going whatsoever. That Carroll defensive front doing its job. Again, Northern's offensive line young, a little bit light. A little bit light now is 270, Rocky. It's a little bit light.
Yeah, third down and 5. Medina, 2 for 4 through the air in the afternoon. 3 wide receivers are set to go out. Medina, quick pass broken up. How about that defensive stop on the part of the Saints, and that's Spearoff.
That's a true freshman out of Helena High, Rocky. You may have called him on some high school games, and they didn't know if he'd be ready to come in at college ready. He was college ready last week with a pick in a pick 6, I believe. So doing the job at corner.
Jaden Harrison back to receive the punt from Hunter Riley. Riley's averaging 34 yards a kick. Late in the first, 1:42. Saints out on top, 14-0. High snap. Saints bring everybody. The punter goes down. There's a flag, and the Saints will not get the football. The Lights are going to have it first down and 10, roughing the kicker.
That's the risk you take. When we take a look here, that's a risk you take when you call a punt block, and you can't ever worry about it. And you teach your athletes, if we call block, don't worry about it. You'll see them come hard through every gap they can, get around, lay out for it, and there you go. So if you're on the crap table in Vegas, you can never play a scared money, right? I mean, when you go to the crap table, you've got that $1,000. Well, you probably have a lot of money, Rocky, but $1,000 you put on the table. I'm sure you bet it all, right?
Almost.
Okay.
How about that? That's going to first down and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Lights. That's a big penalty.
Big penalty.
Northern trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time.
You know, they want to use Medina. They want to throw the football. They just haven't been able to connect.
Medina, it's dropped. Loose ball fought for. I believe it's covered by Cameron Taylor. And Medina never got the ball to his running back, Cameron Taylor. And Cameron's not that big, only 5'9", 180. He was able to fall on the football and avoid the turnover.
You see it come through here, just a little bit of a sloppy exchange between Medina and his quarterback. But what you're seeing is the offensive line for Northern not be able to hang on to the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 14. 2 wide receivers up on top. Medina will change the call. 5 seconds on the play clock. They're going to keep it on the ground. Jet around the left side. Caught from behind. A gain of about a yard. Kvek makes the stop.
Tug Smith out of his safety position comes up and fills like he's supposed to. And that's what Northern's not having the ability to do, is pull those safeties away from the line of scrimmage. You see him step down here and just step right in the hole. That's how you draw it up.
Medina is 3 of 6, 75 yards of the game. It's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 13 from the 37. Medina rolls right. Medina airs it out. Is that an interception?
I think it is. I think he got his foot down. Boy, what a great interception. And that's what they're asking. Did he get his foot in? Yep, he did.
Going the other way. Who got the pick?
I think it's Brian Fauntleroy, the junior out of Whitefish, Montana, I think is who stepped in front of it. A little bit difficult to see the numbers with the sun in our face here. We'll catch it up on replay. What a perfect jump on the route. So we can get the number. Well, I'll give it to Fauntleroy. And I'm sure the other family will call me if it isn't right.
So turnover for the Lights on the interception. Saints will take over. They lead 14-0. This could be the final play of the first quarter here. Burgess with the carry. Left side. Burgess at 30, the 35. Burgess knocked down, stays in bounds, and that'll end quarter number 1. The Saints out on top of the Lights of MSU Northern, 14-0. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
At Carroll, we're doing everything we can to make college affordable. That's why we award over $24 million in scholarships every year. On average, cutting student tuition in half. Did we mention 99% of students receive scholarships? Sounds like it's time to get your applications in.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires. You know, we've been helping keep folks safe on the road around here since 1952. That's why you can save up to $152 on a set of 4 select light truck and SUV tires during our fall tire sale. All with a service you deserve, but just don't find other places. Swing by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
It was Christmas Eve when my customer called to let me know that my building was on fire.
My heart sank. It was a total loss.
My first concern was my employees and my clients. We've had this family business for more than 40 years. Payne West moved quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Payne West arranged a payment so Ron could start rebuilding his business.
And I am proud to say that I met every customer commitment that was made prior to the fire.
We experience what you experience. Payne West Insurance.
$134 yards for the Saints in that first half. 86 for the Lights. Bridgewater on the option. Lost the football that I believe MSU Northern has it, and both teams have now turned the ball over once.
Boy, are they lucky.
No, the Saints recovered. How in the world did that happen? Greg.
I would imagine Coach Purcell is telling Bridgewater, you know what, just let's take care of the ball a little bit more. But the attitude on the Saints is, we didn't come here to paint. We came here to gamble.
And the Saints dodged a bullet there. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. 2 wide receivers left side. Sipes and Ferris to the left. And up on top, a young man who's already scored a touchdown, Kyle Pierce. 3 down linemen for MSU Northern, and somebody jumped.
You know, I was going to say that, Rocky. The first time we've seen Northern in a 3-man pressure.
How about that offensive line, Greg, for the Saints tonight, this afternoon?
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier in that first quarter where there wasn't one white jersey in anyone's way to stop anybody. And I say that honestly, what a defensive coordinator will ask from the booth is, do we have color there? Do we have color there? And what he means is do we have a player in there? And if we don't have a player there, that means everybody's blocked and we have scheme issues. So they have both 100+ yards in the first quarter alone.
It's going to be 3rd down and 11. Saints have been one of the top teams in NAIA converting on 3rd down. Bridgewater. He'll roll left. Bridgewater going to throw across his body, incomplete. Sipes was the intended receiver. And the Lights are going to get the ball back. Welsh defending. He has an interception this year.
Bridgewater's going to want that back, Rocky, and I'll tell you why. Because he had his wide receiver wide open in the middle of the field, Brooklyn DeMars, and he just missed him. I mean, there was no one around him when he was scrambling.
Quebec to punt for the Saints. Marvin Williams Jr. is back for the Lights. Gets the kickoff barely. And there will not be a return. And how about that roll? All the way down to the 9-yard line where the Saints will take over. Well, Greg, we had a national 14-0. Saints out on top. Be back with more right after this.
We're here to help anybody out who's trying to quit any form of tobacco. If you use cigarettes, if you use chew, dip, e-cigarettes.
I myself used to be a smoker. I'm like, I know what you're going through.
We ask you a series of questions to make sure that we're meeting your needs and concerns.
We talk about your stress, what your cravings are.
Slips and relapses are definitely a normal part of the quitting process.
We don't see that as a complete failure. We want to make sure you learn from that.
And that's why having a coach is so essential to quitting.
Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. So stop in today and let us find the right set of Michelin tires for you. If you value longevity, check out the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest lasting family of tires on the road. Whether you drive a car, minivan, SUV, or truck, you'll be able to do more for more miles. Come visit our team of experts at Wayland Tire so we can match you with the right tire for the way you drive.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
You know, Greg, one of the games I'll never forget, Carroll College game, took place on September 28th of 1996. Rocky playing at Carroll. Bob Bees set an NAIA record for Rocky. He threw for 685 yards. 685.
You'd have to switch the football out. I imagine the laces were worn.
Well, probably had to ice his arm at halftime and in postgame. I mean, there were seasons when Billings Central won state championships. They didn't throw close to 600 yards for the entire year. First down and 10 from the 14-yard line for the Lights, and they keep it on the ground. Cameron Taylor, the 5'9", 180-pound junior, running back out of California. A gain of just a couple. Second quarter just underway. Rocky Erickson with Greg Upham. We're in Helena, and what a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. Hall of Fame Saturday. Jolene Fuzezi went into the Hall of Fame today from Malta. She played her college basketball at Carroll, the all-time best three-point shooter in college basketball history. Taylor tried to cut left, and Taylor's going nowhere. Taylor's going to be pushed back for a loss. And who got that stop?
Well, I can tell you who the left tackle was, and that's Tristan Willis, a freshman, 6'5", 260. He just got pushed back. He got a few more years in the weight room. And Hurlburt, I think the defensive lineman for Carroll, came up and has, I've been watching it, has owned that line of scrimmage since earlier today.
Medina is 3 of 7. He's picked off 1, 75 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. Medina back into 6, unloads it quickly. Keegan Stroop can't make the catch out of Belt, Montana. And Carroll College is getting the football back, and they're going to have excellent field position.
I want you to watch a replay here. Watch Isaiah King come off his corner position and just lay it. And I'm telling you,
that's a big-time hit.
Isaiah King from California coming back, and he is a premier corner. He is playing in the NAI, and I think he can play just about wherever he wants to play, and I've watched him for the last 3 years.
Northern player is hurt. When Troy Purcell was at Havre, they had a state championship team in 2004. They beat Billings Central 34-21. For the Blue Ponies of Havre, it was their first state championship since 1970. The quarterback on that team was Gary Wagner. Gary Wagner would be on a national championship team at Carroll College. He would be named the most valuable player. But they also had a wide receiver, Mark Mariani. And in that state championship game in 04, Mariani had 2 long touchdown receptions of 75 and 84 yards. He would walk on with the Grizzlies and then play in the National Football League.
How would you like to have those two athletes walk into the locker room and say, Coach, where do I get my gear?
In Havre, Montana. Gary Wagner and Mark Mariani. Hey, great news this week for MSU Northern. They got a $400,000 donation from Tillman Motors to build a college football stadium in Havre. And Mike Tillman, one of my favorite people, out of Chinook, All-American for the Grizz in 63 and 64, played 11 years defensive tackle in the National Football League, played for the Vikings, the Saints, the Houston Oilers, and the Atlanta Falcons. He was awarded the Comeback Player of the Year in 1971 when he had 15 sacks and led the league. Mike Tillman had me come up for an NFL pheasant hunting trip that they had. At the banquet that night, Greg, in front of 500 people, they had these hunting vests, and Tillman said, man, what smells? Then he pulled out a dead pheasant out of his vest at the banquet.
Was it for dinner? Is that why he brought it?
He just forgot he had one.
Forgot?
He forgot he had a dead pheasant inside his vest.
Must have been something in his water jug that day when he was hunting.
Harrison back near midfield. And to punt it away is Hunter Riley. And Riley's right on the goal line, long count. And they bring a couple, no roughing the kicker. And that takes a great Saints bounce. And that'll be picked up at the 45-yard line. And on the return, Harrison's got some room. Midfield. Harrison the 45. Harrison the 40. Harrison the 30. And knocked out. Well, Harrison unable to get to the football. He went back to pick it up. And what a return as he cut to the other side.
Boy, and
wow, watch this.
Well, you know, one thing about punt returners, and they are a little bit off, and you can see he goes all the way over here, maybe shouldn't have touched the ball in the first place, then decides to stay inbounds, then cuts across the grain, and away we go.
The Saints lead by 2 touchdowns. And how about this field position? They'll start from the 26-yard line. Bridgewater. Out of the shotgun, Matthew Burgess. Big hole. Burgess gets a few yards and gets pushed back. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 coming up. 11:43 left to be played. Here with the second. 14-0. Our score. The Saints out on top of the lights.
I'll tell you, the first time that Northern's been able to stop Carroll at the line of scrimmage, and still a 4-yard gain.
It's going to be 2nd down and 7 from the 23-yard line. What a great afternoon for the Saints. On the ground again, Burgess. And Burgess inside the 20 to the 18, just short of the first down. Another 4-yard pickup. Burgess, 5'11", 195-pound freshman out of Junction City, Oregon. He went for 111 yards against Montana Western in week 1. I announced that game from Dillon. And then he exploded for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns against Rocky. And he was named the Frontier Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Congratulations to him. First time a Carroll player has won that award in 4 years. And he's over 50 yards in a game. It's going to be third down and short. And that's going to be a Wildcat. Burgess takes the snap and gets the first down. Needed 3, and he picked up 4 yards.
You know, the challenge that Purcell puts on a defense is even in a third and short, nearing the red zone, you don't know what he's going to do. He can throw a fade route. He can run an RPO. He can, in this case, direct snap, Wildcat. I mean, he mixes it up, and it always keeps defenses off balance.
First down and 10. Major Ali is in. Ali right at the middle of the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Major Ali. A 15-yard touchdown run for Major Ali.
I'll tell you too, Rocky, it's that inside zone, and Northern does not have an answer to it. Watch that inside open up. Watch Major just pop a little bit to his right, and then he's touched one time in 11 yards. I mean, hats off to the offensive line. Alex Castens just doing a great job of bringing that offensive line along.
9:59 left to be played in this first half. Major Ali with the touchdown. Snap back. Kick is up, and the kick is no good. That was wide left. 20-0. Saints lead.
What does our world need? Our world needs skilled technicians to give us power, farmers to bring in the harvest, nurses to provide care, teachers to give us hope, and you to give us a future. Prepare to give the world what it needs at MSU Northern.
Montana. There's no place else like it. After all, it's why we all choose to live here. The vibe is different here. So when you find that perfect place for your family, we'll find the right home loan just for you. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
It was Christmas Eve when my customer called to let me know that my building was on fire.
My heart sank. It was a total loss.
My first concern was my employees and my clients. We've had this family business for more than 40 years. Payne West moved quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Payne West arranged a payment so Ron could start rebuilding his business.
And I am proud to say that I met every customer commitment that was made prior to the fire.
We experience what you experience. Payne West Insurance.
Well, Greg, you have Major Ali averaging 7 yards a carry. Matthew Burgess averaging 8.7 yards a carry. As a team, they're over 7. Again, I mean, they're doing a great job, but the offensive line has been fantastic.
Absolutely, they have, and it's against a good defensive front. That's what's so interesting here. But you know what sets that up, too, Rocky, is we have to remember going back early in the first quarter, 2 long pass plays, Sipes for a 43-yard touchdown. You know, Coach Purcell from the very beginning said, you know what, you're going to have to defend us all the way out, all the way wide. And he's making that defense do that, and he's just picking where he wants to go.
And that kick will be taken right on the goal line. Williams brings it back, stopped at about the 21-yard line. The Saints have the Lights have never won a game here in Helena since they brought back football in 1999. Carroll leads in the series 36-2. And how about one of the games a year ago that was played in this series, Ryan Arnston out of Helena High rushed for 267 yards. Second best rushing game in Carroll College football history.
Not a bad day.
First down and 10 for the Lights. They'll work from the 20-yard line. Play action. Medina will throw on the run. Pass is caught. Is he in bounds? He is, and that is Baumgartner out of Oregon. He had 65 receptions a year ago. Baumgartner with his 9th catch this season. That's good for the first down.
First positive yardage Northern's had, in most of the game. That's a pickup of about 11 or 12. I'm sure Coach Rowland in his mind is thinking, we have got to get something going here.
Kowal Davis up on top. Williams Jr. will come into motion. Medina wants to throw again. Medina airs it out. Pass is caught, and Williams Jr. makes the catch. Gain of about 6.
Coach Rowland just doing some different things with his offense now, Rocky. He's shortening the plays for Medina. They're much quicker, call them a 90 series, really. 1,001, 1,002, and the ball is out because they can't protect him, but they're having a little bit of success getting the ball out of his hands much quicker. So shorter routes underneath.
That Carroll defense held 23rd-ranked Rocky to just a touchdown last week. Jet tries to make the corner. Jet gets to about the 40-yard line, short of the first down. And it's going to be third down at about 3 yards.
Seen a nice job out of Carroll's defensive alley players. Their linebackers Bowen and Kresge are doing a nice job inside, but on the outside we see Isaiah King all the way from his corner position, shortening the field for Northern at every angle.
3 wide receivers to the right side for Medina. They work from the 40. Hand it off to Jet. Hit behind the line, and Jet's going down. They did not get that first down, and Keene in on the tackle for Carroll College.
Yeah, you see Craig Klein from his linebacker position. He's down up tight, busts through hard there. Just disrupts the play. Man, oh man, are they coming, and they're coming fast.
Jaden Harrison back to receive the kick with 7:40 left to be played in the first half. The Saints out on top 20-0. They win this one, they will be nationally ranked. And the kicker goes down. Ho, 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 ho! What a stop. Did that ball come out? Titus Pullman from Mesa, Arizona. And Northern says they have it. And the guy in the stripes says the same thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that's by Harrison. That's not a good decision, and he should have waved his hand for the fair catch. And I'm sure Coach Purcell's probably talking to him on the sidelines. I admire your courage, but 2 things. 1, we need you to stay alive, and 2, we want the ball back.
He took a big-time hit.
He took a big-time hit.
And the Carroll defense will stay out. Cameron Taylor in at the running back spot. Kowal Davis split out wide to the right side. First down and 10 from the 30-yard line. They're going to Kowal Davis in triple coverage. He makes the catch. And Kowal Davis down near the 10-yard line. And the Lights are trying to get on the scoreboard here for the first time this afternoon from Helena.
Longest play from scrimmage in the game, Rocky, and off of a turnover. So nice call by Rowland, nice throw by Medina.
It's going to be first and goal at the 10-yard line for MSU Northern. Medina throws to the end zone. It's caught, and that is going to be a touchdown. And making the catch is Marvin Williams Jr. MSU Northern on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, you see just a quick slant route, too. Medina just sets it up right from the very beginning, off play action pass, and delivers a strike, and there you go. Touchdown, just like that. 2 plays, 6 points. Boy, and as a coach, too, when you've got a team down like Northern is, you don't want them to breathe.
And Hunter Riley missed the PAT. 20-6 Northern. Carroll out on top.
Whether you live in town, out on the farm, or a cozy cabin nestled in the woods, wherever you call home or choose to locate your business, Woodpecker Technologies has great options for your high-speed internet. Based in Montana, we provide quality service to communities and businesses throughout the state. For high-speed internet anywhere, call Woodpecker Technologies at 406-461-1941 or visit us online at woodpeckertech.com.
This is my leash and this is my life. I go nowhere without the oxygen. If I run out of oxygen at all for any length of time, panic sets in. I lost a lot of freedom. I want to go swimming. I want to go walking down the street. A lot of things I'd love to do with my kids and grandkids, I just can't do because this is literally my life. Every decision you make, you will base on how much energy and how much oxygen it takes. Your life is no longer your own.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Lights are on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon. This is a team that scored 34 points against nationally ranked Rocky in week number 2, but they gave up 53 in that game, and the Lights have proven they can move the football. The extra point was missed. 20-6, Saints lead, 6:45 left to be played here in the first half.
We could see in that last drive just how quick that Northern has the capability of scoring. 2 plays, 6 points. Maybe it wakes them up, Rocky.
Onside kick attempt?
I doubt it here.
Saints pulled that off in the first quarter. Short kick. And that one will be picked up at about the 20-yard line. So the Saints offensively will come back out. Saints with 164 yards in the game, 132 now for the Lights of MSU Northern. Both these teams already have 2 common opponents in Montana Western and Rocky. I announced that first game in Dillon. That went right down to the final play with Montana Western winning 31-24. And MSU Northern lost to Western last weekend, 38-13. Carroll beat Rocky 44-7, and MSU Northern lost to the Bears 53-34. Penalty against the Lights will push the Saints up. Well, Greg, you know, when the Saints won those national championships, 6 national titles over 9 years from 2002 to 2010, they won 94% of their games. They went 119-8. And if you wanted to compete in the Frontier, you had to get better. And that is exactly what happened with the other teams. Bridgewater on first down. Sipes breaks a tackle. Gets inside the 50 to the 42-yard line. Great run after the catch for Sipes.
Yeah, and the best word you can describe Sipes is he's sudden. I mean, he's fast. He'll stretch you, but he's sudden. When he's on the field, it happens quickly. And they hadn't gotten the ball to him since the first quarter. Surprised that long, but here we go.
Sipes in the game against Tech last year had 6 catches, 170 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Inside Lights territory. First down and 10. They hand it off, and that is going to be a loss of about 3 yards, and Major Ali with the loss.
And Northern dedicating way more players to the line of scrimmage, back to their 4-man front, then 2 more pressure players at linebacker playing 6-man pressure. But that actually was a misread by Bridgewater. It's a run-pass read for him, and he should have pulled the corner.
Both these teams, Greg, 32 players from the state of Washington, 16 apiece.
1 player from Green Acres. We should check with Mr. Ziffel and see if Arnold's still around.
Second down and long. And Sipes again. They're going to be about 7 yards short of the first down marker. Well, Kobe Koloy was the starting quarterback a year ago for the Saints. He's now backing up Devin Bridgewater. In that first game in Dillon a couple of weeks ago, nobody knew who the starting quarterback was going to be until the game started. And we got a timeout here with 5:04 left to be played in quarter number 2. We'll take a break, be back with more right after this.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires. You know, we've been helping keep folks safe on the road around here since 1952. That's why you can save up to $152 on a set of 4 select light truck and SUV tires during our fall tire sale. All with a service you deserve, but just don't find other places. Swing by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Carroll College continues to lead with Montana's best graduation rate, generous scholarships, and top acceptance rates to grad schools, med schools, and amazing internships. With personalized attention to every student and an average class size of 14, it's no wonder Carroll has been voted the best college in Montana 8 years running. Campus tour, anyone?
Saints going for the home run ball again, and defensive holding against the Lights. 4:56 left to be played.
You know, Rocky,
here in the first half,
Coach Purcell has targeted Sipes 4 times in this series alone, and he went deep to him there and was held.
He was forgotten for much of the first half.
Since that 42-yard touchdown pass.
You know, you can't coach speed. I mean, if you got speed, that's a wonderful thing. Sipes up on top on the right side. And they're going to keep it on the ground to the 25-yard line. And that is a new ball carrier. That is going to be Adams, the 5'10", 185-pound sophomore out of McKinney, Texas. That's his 7th carry on the season. No huddle. Second down and short. Second down at about 3. And give it to Mr. Texas again. And we got a flag down. He's close to a first down. A lot of penalties, Greg.
There are a lot of penalties. And it's, you know, we're into the season now. It's not like it's just started.
First game I did, West at Missoula Big Sky. I think we had 14 penalties in the first half. The refs were throwing so many flags they had to ice their arm at halftime.
Or they wore the yellow off the flag.
You know, I did a game last night. You're going to be proud as the superintendent of School District 2. I did the West CMR game. The West High players and coaches and cheerleaders all had the number 42 decal on their helmet, their cap. The cheerleaders had it in a bow for David Delcompt, the 17-year-old young man who died in a diving accident July 27th with an all-conference football player for CMR. West hosted CMR last night, and they honored David. And Coach Rob Stanton of West High said they're going to keep that 42 decal on the entire season.
Well, I'll tell you, isn't that impressive, Rocky? And the brotherhood of activities and athletics, I think that speaks volumes.
Sipes to the left side, and they give it off to Adams, and Adams to the 15-yard line on first down.
You see Northern doing something different now. Finally, they've stopped Carroll's inside run game, and I would assume we're going to start to see Carroll go outside here real quick on some RPOs, especially with Bridgewater, how flexible he is. But the chances you take when you run your quarterback is what, Rocky?
You don't want to do that. They don't last long in the NFL, the running quarterbacks. It's going to be second down. Adams again to the right side. Adams goes nowhere, maybe a gain of a yard. How about this stat? In the wide open game, the pass-happy game of football we have at every level, Greg. So far this afternoon, the Saints 119 yards on the ground, 74 through the air. You know how rare that is?
It is rare. Yeah. Northern's done a nice job, though, of shoring up the inside. Carroll has not been able to run the ball inside, and they keep trying. And what's interesting is Bridgewater's not pulling the ball. That is wide open for him, and he is not pulling it. So I'm sure Coach Purcell is saying, hey, read that defensive end.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7 from the 15-yard line. Saints lead 20-6. 3:15 left to be played here in the first half. And Devin wants to throw. Devin rolls left. Devin will throw on the run to the end zone. Sipes is there, incomplete. And Bridgewater threw that between two intended receivers. Also back was Jaden Harrison. I'm not sure who the intended receiver was. And on for the field goal is Josh Kraft. On the season, Kraft has not missed a field goal. He's a perfect 2 for 2. He kicked a long of 41. This is going to be a 32-yard kick. A 32-yarder for Kraft.
Kraft out of Billings, Montana.
Snap back, the hold is down. It's got plenty of distance, and it is good. And the Saints of Carroll College now up. And 23-6, the Saints lead.
Well, 3 minutes left to go before the half. Northern had a little bit of success, marched the ball down there. I think Coach Rowland is going to tell Medina, let's go back to what we were doing before. And they were working the ball in a much quicker throwing 90s series. 1-2, ball gone. I think that's what we'll see again. We may see Carroll tighten some coverage up here a little bit. Boy, it was fireworks when the opening kickoff went off, wasn't it?
Boy, it was exciting. I mean, second great start in a row. They jumped on Rocky early last week. Well, Frontier Conference standings, College of Idaho 3-0, Montana Western 2-0. College of Idaho, they moved up 5 spots this week in the National NEIA football poll. They're ranked 11th in the nation. Montana Western ranked 20th. They went up 5 spots. Rocky only went down once after getting beat by Carroll 44-7. Tech received votes. Surprisingly, Carroll College did not, and Rocky and Western are battling at Rocky Mountain College. Homecoming game for them. And, Bruce Parker, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame here at Carroll College today, finished his career as the athletic director at Rocky, and they formed a partnership with Billings Central Catholic School. They put lights at the Rocky Bowl. They put turf down. And now Billings Central plays their home games at the Rocky Bowl. And it's a great fit for Central. It's been awesome for Rocky, and they have a great facility. Once every 3 years, they host the historic East-West Shrine football game.
They've really dressed that field up. I had the opportunity to watch a Rocky game last week from the President's Box, and it was very, very nice. And
the President's Box? You must be important, Greg.
Well, I'm not. The door was open, and I went in and saw a free sandwich. So.
Deep kick. That'll go in and out of the end zone, and the lights will come out offensively. Well, coming up in the second half, we'll visit with Mike Van Diest, and we'll visit with Bruce Parker. They're going to stop up in the press box. And Bruce Parker, I announced the first game that he coached at Carroll College, a home game against Rocky. Rocky was coming off a playoff from the season before in '98. Rocky won, and I couldn't believe how Coach Hogan and Mike Van Diest and their staff were upset that they lost. I'm like, you guys expected to beat Rocky in the first week? And that was only the beginning of what the Saints put together.
Where they went.
First down and 10, 25-yard line, and catching on the run, a nice reception out near the 40-yard line, and a big gain for the Lights of MSU Northern.
Yeah, and if we can get a replay of that, you can see exactly what Northern has done. They've gone to a much quicker release for Medina, and Carroll still backed off a little bit, which is surprising. They're going to have to tighten that coverage up. So force Medina to hold the ball a little bit longer.
First down, Lights. They work for the 36-yard line. And catches Mame. Bumgardner makes the catch. Bumgardner out to about the 44-yard line. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to be played here in the second. 23-6. The Saints out on top of the Lights. The Lights trying to pick up their first win ever here in Helena. Since they brought back football in '99, the Saints lead in the series 36-2. They've never won here. Jet with the carry across the 50-yard line. And Jet to the 45-yard line for the Lights. There's plenty of time for MSU Northern.
You see that quick passing game, Rocky, has opened up the run inside. That's the first run from scrimmage where they've had positive yardage up the middle. You take a look at a little bit of replay there.
First down and 10 for the 45-yard line for MSU Northern. Medina, and Bumgardner was left wide open. Bumgardner made the catch, and quick tackle, spear off.
Medina 5 for 5 in this series alone, and we had a timeout. A little popping
Another
going on
injured player, and that's going to be a Saints player is down. Carroll College will be at Southern Oregon next week. The Lights of MSU Northern will be home against the Diggers of Montana Tech. 2 years ago, Southern Oregon went 12-1 and advanced to the semifinals of the NAIA postseason playoffs. How about the job Mark Sampson did when he was at Carroll College in 2008? They went 7-3 in 06. They went 9-3 and made the playoffs. In the regular season, they beat Carroll College that year 10-3. That snapped the Saints' 29-game winning streak. And then in the first round, they lost to the Saints 20-7. Now you tell me, Greg, why two Frontier Conference teams have to hook up in the first round of the playoffs?
Well, you know, they talk regionally, Rocky, if you follow the formula, and at the end of the formula is cost of travel. And the NAI does not have a lot of money, so it's unfortunate that one seed can play two seed early in the tournament.
And Rocky last year had to play Morningside in the first round. They ended up winning the national championship. Throw right over the middle is complete inside the 30-yard line. Marvin Williams Jr. The Lights are trying to light up that scoreboard one more time before this half comes to an end.
And there's a big difference, Rocky, from being 23-13 at half versus 23-6. 1:15 left to go in the game. Carroll's got to stop them if they want to keep control of the game. Northern needs to score if they want to make this a game.
Medina, 9 of 14, picked off once, 138 yards through the air. Just 13 rushing yards in this game for MSU Northern. Rocky had just 42 rushing yards last weekend, but keep in mind they got behind early and were forced to pass most of that game, and then they lost Nathan Dick. You know, when Senior won those back-to-back state championships and went 13-0 and never lost a game. Nathan Dick was their quarterback, and he was extremely instrumental. Of course, he had Gabe Sulzer to throw to, one of the greatest wide receivers I've ever seen play the game. First down and 10. Medina will dump it off short to Jet. Jet's hit behind the line and brought down. A loss of one on the play. Isaiah King again.
You want to see a play, Rocky. If we can get a replay of this, you'll see why I've talked about King earlier. He fights through two blockers and makes the play. It's just a screen to the outside. Watch him kick through two blockers.
Wow.
What a play.
That is a big-time play. 69 seconds left to be played here in the first half. 23-6. The Saints of Carroll College out on top of MSU Northern. And MSU Northern in 2017, I mean, who could forget that game they had against Montana Tech? First time they played Tech, it was 70-27. And then the second time, it was 66-0 at the half Tech won 93-19. 93-19, and that's when Aaron Christensen resigned following that loss. That could be extremely difficult on the program.
Yeah, 93. I don't know if I've ever heard of 93. In fact, when I saw that score come across the wire, I thought it was a misprint, but it wasn't.
You know what they had on a misprint on the Frontier Conference website last week? They had Rocky beating Carroll 44-7. So whoever got the score and was updating the website was like, no way Carroll could have won 44-7.
Yeah, right. What's interesting now with 109 left, both teams have no timeout, so they've got to use the sideline to control the clock.
Second down and 13. Medina's got all kinds of time. Pass complete right over the middle and down to the 16-yard line and move the chains, and the lights are knocking on the door. Eisenbarth again out of Washington.
As I said, the quick passing game is what Roland has gone to, and it's been extremely successful.
First down and 10. Medina to the end zone. Yes! Touchdown! Marvin Williams Jr. again. And the Lights have scored with 54 seconds left to be played until halftime.
And as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, they should call this the different game of the week because this is a different Northern team. And what a great adjustment by Coach Rowland and Northern, going right to that quick passing game. It opened up an inside run right down the field, 2 touchdowns back-to-back, unanswered by Carroll College.
And the extra point is good. And it's 23-13, and that is a second time in the second quarter Medina has hit Marvin Williams Jr. His first scoring play was a 10-yard touchdown pass with 6:45 to go. And this one came with just 11 seconds left to be played. 196 yards of offense for Carroll College, 174 for MSU Northern, and we've got a game, Greg.
And the 174, Rocky, is mostly in the second quarter.
Exactly.
Carroll's offense was in the first quarter. That's the beauty of this game. What those coaches are doing all the time is that chess game is moving back and forth. And now it's move, check, move, Carroll, because Rowland has made the adjustments he needs to make. He's put the ball in Medina's hands. He's got it out much quicker. He's running short outside routes, and then when he wants to go for the throat, he goes right up the seam, and he's got it twice.
What a game.
Carroll didn't adjust much on the outside and tighten that coverage up, so Medina just has the ability to get rid of the ball.
New rule in NAIA football, Greg. The top 4 Frontier Conference teams should automatically qualify for the postseason playoffs each and every year.
Well, when the national championship was going through the Frontier Conference, there were years when 3 Frontier Conference teams could have gone deep into the playoffs with one of them winning it.
It's a quick kick late here in the half, and it's covered by the Saints, and they'll have the football. And you would think, Purcell might be conservative, but I don't think that's possible, is it?
Well, I don't think conservative and Purcell has ever been in the same sentence. The onside kick, they're up 14-0. They get the onside kick. Huge stop by Northern, Rocky. Absolutely huge stop. Now, what he's going to do is he's going to find Sipes again, and he's going to find him in a hurry.
Sipes and Ferris to the right side. First down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line. Late here in the half. Bridgewater's got time. Over the middle to Sipes, takes a hit. Sipes goes down, short gain of about 5 yards, and they're not going to huddle up. They're going to go right to the line. 36 seconds left to be played. Here in the half, 23-13. Saints out on top of MSU Northern, and Ferris will come into motion. Line of scrimmage, the 43-yard line. Back to throw. Ferris gets out of bounds, stops the clock at the 47-yard line. Move the chains, first down. 22 ticks left to be played.
So as a defensive coordinator, Rocky, you're looking at your clock. Ball's roughly at midfield. They know that Carroll has to go deep at least one time in the next 2 plays. Carroll probably won't throw the ball in the middle of the field again. In fact, I was kind of surprised that they did in that first down with no timeout. So as a defensive coordinator, I'm going to back off, and I'm going to play a 15 to 20-yard out route because that's where they're going to go.
Sipes and Ferris up on top. It's going to be first down and 10. And Bridgewater eludes a sack. Bridgewater will run 45 midfield, and he slides down at about the 48-yard line, but 13 seconds left to be played, and well, the Lions must have a timeout. They take a timeout. 23 to 13. Carroll College out on top. 13 seconds left. Time for about 2 plays on the season. Carroll's Josh Kraft, his longest field goal is 41 yards this year.
And wind is behind their back, Rocky.
Never windy in Montana, is it?
Not in Vida. The wind ever blow in Vida when you were growing up?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm from Great Falls. We learned to walk at 45-degree angles. We didn't even stand up straight.
Great Falls has wind.
Great Falls has wind. We should get a shirt that says that.
We've had some soccer tournaments. My son played soccer, and there were some games that were played on just one side of the field because of the wind.
The funny part about that is true.
It's going to be second down and 4. Time for just a couple of plays for the Saints. Just across midfield. Play action. And Devin's going to throw deep. Finds Sipes, and Sipes dropped the football to 25-yard line. Greg, he was looking downfield. Needed to make the catch first.
That would have put him in field goal range because he'd have ran that right out of bounds, right about the 30-yard line. 25. Ooh, that is a big drop. And you see Coach Purcell put his head down like, come on, man.
5 seconds left. Another timeout, 23 to 13. Okay, I'm the coach now. Hook and ladder. Throw it down to Sipes at about the 15-yard line. He laterals it to another receiver, and the Saints go in and score. What would you call here?
Well, the wind's behind me, and Bridgewater's, he has the arm. He can do it. I think what you'll see is a pick route at about 30 yards. They call them rub. If you're an offensive coach, they call them rub routes. By changing the word from pick to rub, it becomes legal. Now, if you're a defensive coach, they call it rub, but it's a pick route, and I think that's what we'll see. And they'll probably try and pick Sipes clean and see if they can get him.
Is he going to throw it to the end zone or throw it to the 5 or the 10?
He's going to throw it underneath to Sipes.
The numbers for Devin Bridgewater on the afternoon: 6 of 11, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Remember, you've got a big size differential on the outside.
They're going to stack up 3 wide receivers on the right side, Sipes and Ferris. Low snap, Bridgewater. He's going to air it out to the end zone. He throws it up for anybody. Ferris is closest to it. And Sipes, and he threw that one right out of the end zone. It is halftime here in Helena. The Saints out on top, 23 to 13. We'll be back with our halftime show right after this.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. Performance, pride, and passion, 3 things that define the rich legacy of BF Goodrich Tires and the lasting partnership that we've shared over the years. Like the ever-popular BF Goodrich KO2 tire and all the Advantage TA line of tires, stop in and talk to your local performance experts at Wayland Tire and get set up with the right type of tires from the company that invented performance, BF Goodrich.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
On February 10th, I had my last drink and have been sober ever since. When I was in treatment for alcohol, they sort of told me not to worry too much about the smoking, and I definitely found myself writing that excuse for a long time. About 5 months later, I also quit smoking. Quitting smoking is possible. Quitting drinking is possible. And the life that you get to have afterwards is so much better.
Well, if I told you that there were about, 150, 200 people on the field at halftime, it is Hall of Fame Saturday here at George Nelson Stadium. 23-13 at the break. The Saints are out on top of the lights, and boy, what a special day. Bruce Parker inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame. Bruce Parker now inducted into the Carroll College Hall of Fame. He was here for 5 of the 6 national championships. Marcus Miller, a 3-time national champion kicker and defensive back. He set an NAIA record. He hit 83% of his field goals. Jolene Fuzezi played her basketball in high school at Malta, and she shot 52% on threes, an NAIA record for male or female. And I interviewed her once, Greg, and I'll never forget. Jolene Fuzezi said she practiced an hour before practice, an hour after practice. So that's 4 hours a day working on her game. And when I have the opportunity to speak in athletic banquets, I share with the young people, you want to be a champion. You have to practice like a champion. And the greatest three-point shooter in college basketball history practiced 4 hours a day.
Isn't that something? That is amazing.
And Bruce Parker being brought out in the golf cart, a standing ovation for him. Congratulations. Jeff Hayes, his dad Eric Hayes, played for the Grizz, that famous game that they almost beat John Wooden's UCLA team. Remember that record-setting 2006 team had 30 wins. Jeff Hayes, now the coach at Missoula Hellgate, took over for his dad. Jenny Herringer out of Billings, women's soccer, one of the top defensive players in Carroll College history. Matt Thomas going into the Hall of Fame today, a 2-time All-American defensive back. And then, of course, head coach Mike Van Dies, 20 years, 14 Frontier Conference titles, and 6 national championships, 4 national championships in a row. His teams averaged more than 10 wins this season. And from 2002 to 2010, over those 9 years, the Saints won 6 national championships, and their win-loss record during that time, 119-8, a winning percentage of 94%. And boy, what a great shot that is the Hall of Fame inductees and their families on the field, including a couple of teams, the 06 women's soccer team, the 07 women's soccer team, the 05-06 men's basketball team. Greg Upham, tell me that story you told me earlier about that party with those Saints football players.
Well, so I've been fortunate enough to have lived in Helena and covered the Saints through those national championships on both television and radio. And then my son ended up playing for Carroll in his college career. He has one of those national championship rings and a couple of runner-ups. And one night when they were inducting a national championship team, there was a large group of alumni, football alumni, in one of the local establishments, and every one of them in the establishment had at least one national championship ring on.
That's got to be like a world record. But where else would you ever see anything like that?
He said it was absolutely amazing. As he looked around, everyone had at least one, and most of them had multiple rings on their fingers.
That is a run. I mean, until North Dakota State did what they did when Carroll College won 4 national championships in a row from 02 and 05, that was the first time at any level of college football history that a team has won 4 national titles in a row. Mike Van Dies, to Helena guy, graduated from Helena High in 1970, played his college football for the Cowboys of the University of Wyoming. They're at Tulsa today, and they're off to a 3-0 start. Best start for the Cowboys since 2011 when they won the first 9 games. At the break, 23-13, Saints out on top. Be back with more of our halftime show right after this.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Montana. We're proud to say it's where we live and where we work. We're so much more than pretty scenery. We are all hardworking, resilient, and resourceful. The vibe is different here. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
It was Christmas Eve when my customer called to let me know that my building was on fire.
My heart sank. It was a total loss.
My first concern was my employees and my clients. We've had this family business for more than 40 years. Payne West moved quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Payne West arranged a payment so Ron could start rebuilding his business.
And I am proud to say that I met every customer commitment that was made prior to the fire.
We experience what you experience. Payne West Insurance.
Rocky Erickson alongside Greg Upham, bringing you all the play-by-play of this SWX Game of the Week, sponsored by your Montana Chevy dealers. Well, Greg, how did you get your start in sportscasting?
You know, it was interesting. I had a friend of mine who was doing TV at the time. We both started coaching in Browning, Montana, and that's where my professional teaching and coaching career began. And they were covering a Carroll game, and I walked by and I said, "Hey, Pat." It was Pat Schulte from Butte, Montana. Beautiful Butte, Montana.
Now, he is. People sometimes mistake me for a sports historian. Pat Schulte was Montana's only sports historian.
Yeah, we were very good friends. And I said, Patty, actually, if you ever need a color guy, let me know. I'd like to do that. And lo and behold, a week later, they were on their way to northern Montana, and they lost their color guy, and he called me and said, "Would you be willing to drive up and do the game?" And I said, "Absolutely," and that's what started it many, many years ago.
And you got to work with the famed Jason Walker as well.
Yes, I covered the Saints on radio for 4 or 5 years with the famous Jason Walker.
Mike Van Diest. From Helena High, graduate in 1970, his first year as a head coach of the Saints, 1999. They went 5-6. The next year, 10-4, 10-2. And then 2002, they would win the national championship with a 12-2 win-loss record. And Mike Van Diest, a little overcome with emotion. He spoke at our Midland Roundtable Athlete of the Year banquet in Billings a few months ago, and a well-deserved standing ovation for the legendary Mike Van Diest. 203 wins, 54 losses, one of the winningest coaches in all of college football history at any level. The last to be introduced in the Hall of Fame Saturday here at George Nelson Stadium. Bruce Parker was the first to be introduced, and head coach Mike Van Diest, the last person introduced today, entering the Hall of Fame. And what a great honor for Mike, and what a deserving honor. And earlier this year, both Mike Van Diest and Bruce Parker were inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame. And Greg, I'll never even be inducted into the VITA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, don't give up on that yet. I mean, I'm sure there's a committee being put together. You said there's still 40 people, around 40, or did you say 4?
We have a 3-room grade school invited, maybe 40 people.
Okay, well, 40. You know, what was interesting about the Carroll run, and having watched it and been a part of it and having a child in it, and was what a lot of people I don't think really realized with all the success was the brotherhood that was there between players, and that wasn't fake. It was a sense of unity that I had never experienced, and I had coached a long time, Rocky, and that was the one thing that I took away from that was, if you're going to be successful in anything, that unity, the human bond, is the power. And then once you put the athletes on the field and once you make the right decisions, then good things happen. But we see it all the time in sport. If they can't get along, you can have the best athletes that there are and not good things happen. But with the Carroll, his uniqueness, and I think it doesn't get reported enough, was he had the ability to create unity in a team like no other.
Tell me, one of the things that came out recently in Sports Illustrated, they talked about each and every state from today to 10 years ago in 2009, and every state but 4 has a decline in the number of high school football players. Montana down 38%. A lot of that is due to, enrollment numbers in the smaller communities. But we're seeing at almost every level of sports fewer and fewer kids. I mean, you're a superintendent of the largest school district in the state. Why is that? What is the future of high school sports? What's the future of football?
Well, I think, you have to look at this a couple different ways. Let's look at it just from Montana first. We know that families are having fewer children. That's a given. That's a simple number, and that's a direct correlation to fewer students participating in anything. And all you have to do is go across the High Line of Montana and see the consolidation of schools. Kremlin, Guilford, KG. You just go down the line and you see it. Augusta with Cascade, or Augusta with Fairfield, and then you see Shoto. You just see it everywhere. So there are fewer students altogether.
77 teams play Class C 8-man or 6-man football. 77. That's more than Class B, A, or AA combined. But when you see, a Class A program like Livingston not being able to field a varsity football team a few years ago, Hellgate forfeited an entire season. And how about Hellgate? Now they're off to a 3-0 start this season. They snapped a 57-game losing streak a year ago. Congratulations to them. But, to see a Class A school, not have varsity football. There was a time not that long ago in Billings when they had freshman, sophomore, JV, and varsity football. Now there's no sophomore football.
So when I was coaching in the AA's, it was commonplace for schools to have 4 teams. You had a freshman team, you had a sophomore, a JV, and a varsity. Teams in schools that had major programs, CM Russell in Great Falls High, when Poley was at the helm there, Dale Poley, they would walk out 125 to 160 players in 10 through 12. So to answer your question now, just on families having fewer students, I attributed it just to choice. There's a lot more choices out there, Rocky. I mean, and this may sound just simple, but it's true. Walk into a convenience store, a Town Pump, and go back to the beverage section. How many different kinds of drinks are there? So what's happening in society is there are so many other choices out there that there isn't just major sports.
Yeah, well said. 23-13, halftime. Saints out on top by 10.
At Carroll, we're doing everything we can to make college affordable. That's why we award over $24 million in scholarships every year. On average, cutting student tuition in half. Did we mention 99% of students receive scholarships? Sounds like it's time to get your applications in.
Enjoy the comfort and amenities at the Heritage Inn in Great Falls. Free shuttle rides to and from the airport is just the beginning. With on-site amenities like the Max Casino Sports Bar and Restaurant, beautiful indoor heated pool and jacuzzi, 24-hour front desk, and workout center, you may just find yourself never leaving the hotel during your visit. In addition, our rooms feature larger-sized beds, cable TV, free high-speed internet, and much more. Enjoy your stay at the Heritage Inn.
What does our world need? Our world needs skilled technicians to give us power, farmers to bring in the harvest, nurses to provide care, teachers to give us hope, and you to give us a future. Prepare to give the world what it needs at MSU Northern.
Halftime at George Nelson Stadium in Helena. Rocky Erickson with Greg Upham. Halftime score 23-13. It's the Saints out on top in that first half, almost dead even. I mean, check this out. First down, the Saints 14, MSU Northern 11. 207 yards for MSU Northern and 213 yards for Carroll College. But Carroll College, more yards on the ground. I mean, 128 rushing yard. Burgess was 61 yards, averaging 8.7 yards a carry. Major Ali with 39 yards, averaging 5.6. Ali with a touchdown. Devin Bridgewater is 6 of 13. No picks, 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Brendan Medina, 14 of 19, picked off once, 183 yards. Northern just 24 rushing yards in this football game. Both teams with 4 penalties. It's been almost dead even. 23-13. It's the Saints of Carroll College out on top, and the Saints come into this game with a 1-1 win-loss record. MSU Northern 1-2. They won game 1 on August 31st in Phoenix over Arizona Christian, 20-14. We're going to take one more final break. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff of this second half.
At First Security Bank, we believe that the banking experience should be both simple and efficient. We've invested our resources to provide our customers with the highest quality services and optimal banking tools. When you bank with First Security Bank, you're not only getting the most personalized banking experience in Helena, you're working with a bank dedicated to helping Helena thrive. Visit us in person or online. First Security Bank, locally owned, community strong.
Whether you're a Bobcat fan,
or whether you're a Grizz fan,
or whether you're a Bengal,
or whether you're a Bruin,
whether you're a Saint, or whoever you root for,
one thing we all agree on:
Bleacher Sports Pub is the place.
This uniform symbolizes living up to a higher standard. To the Army National Guard soldier, earning it represents a commitment to a nearly 4th-century tradition of vigilance. To don this uniform in the Army National Guard is to be a guardian of freedom in the American way of life. Join us in a timeless tradition of selfless service at NationalGuard.com.
Well, Greg, what do you think MSU Northern head coach Andrew Rowland had to say to his team at the break?
Well, I'm sure he told them, hey, we did some good things in that second quarter, made some adjustments, got the ball out quicker. Carroll didn't adjust very well, and they came back. It's 13-23. It would have been 23-6 at half. Carroll takes the ball. That's a big change. That's a very, very big change. And as well as ineffective as Northern was when they took the ball, I think it could change. Well, I thought, no, Northern has the ball coming out, so that's even more of an advantage. So if I'm Coach Rowland, you know what? I'm pretty happy.
And back to receive is Jet Robertson for the lights of MSU Northern. Big crowd Homecoming. You know, they had that bed race at halftime. I was doing an interview a couple of years ago in the end zone. I almost got trampled in a live interview by the students with the beds. I mean, can you imagine, sportscaster injured in a bed race? That would not have been good on a resume.
Could have gone a lot of different ways, Rocky.
Saints will kick off, and the second half of this game is underway. And from the 6-yard line, Marvin Williams Jr. has got 2 touchdowns on the return out across the 20-yard line.
Boy, we see Ryan Olsen come from the outside, and man, oh man, like a heat-seeking missile.
How about this stat, Greg? Last week, the Saints held Rocky to 42 rushing yards. Here in the first half, MSU Northern with only 24 rushing yards, averaging just 1.8 yards a carry.
They found out early they could not run the ball.
3 wide receivers, left side, play action. Medina incomplete, and his receiver was open, and that was Damari Kowal-Davis. That may have been deflected.
Yeah, Nate McGree, the outside linebacker, came underneath that and deflected the ball. Big Nate McGree.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10, just underway. Quarter number 3, George Nelson Stadium on the campus of Carroll College, Hall of Fame Saturday. 23-13. The Saints trying to get their 2nd win in a row. And a big hole for Cameron Taylor. And Taylor gets out near the 45-yard line before he is stopped by Isaiah King.
So if you're a good coach, you're going to go in at half and you're going to say to your offensive line coach, you've got to figure out how to have the ability. We have to have the ability to run inside. I think they make a good adjustment. But what we saw there was Kresge committed himself, the middle linebacker, much quicker than he should have, and it popped that seam.
1st down and 10 for the Lights from the 43-yard line. Give it to Taylor again. Comes off left tackle, a gain of just a couple, and he is driven down.
I think Coach Rowland Rocky knows that they can't win this game running the ball. There's no way in the world. So knowing that, if I'm defensive coordinator for Carroll, I have to make the changes. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to tighten up the coverage. As soon as I tighten up the coverage, now I'll take the chance of one going over the top of my head. So it's that gamble that you're going to have to take. But if they let him continue to do the same things, they're going to get scored on.
2nd down and 8. Kowal-Davis will come into motion. 3 wide receivers up on top. Play action. Medina gets hit. It's going to be picked up. That's going to be intercepted. And bringing it back inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. That is Chase Bowen. Bowen gets his first pick, 2nd interception of the game against Medina.
Boy, that's the first mistake Medina's made in the passing game, and Bowen was right in front of him. We pull our replay up. You'll see Bowen just stares at him the whole time. He doesn't see him underneath. I know he's looking at the receiver that's coming across the field, and Bowen just steps in. What a great interception for Carroll. Now, if I'm Northern's defensive coordinator, with knowing what Purcell does and how he plays this, it'll be Sipes in a deep route for sure. So I'd want to make sure I'm covering the deep ball because he's going to want to score right here.
Heavy backfield, 1st down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Devin Bridgewater out of the shotgun. Burgess gets a hole inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, 29-yard touchdown run.
Wow.
Matthew Burgess.
Boy, take a look at this. You can talk about there's another back that is similar. And I'm going to give this kid pretty high praise because you don't see many of these in the Frontier. But there was a player at Tech who starts with the letter S called Saraceni that could do the same thing. Once his foot got planted and he got vertical, there wasn't many, if any, around that could catch him. And that's what we're seeing with Burgess.
Saraceni out of Billings Senior. What an amazing back. And the Saints scored quickly here in the second. The PAT is good. And this is 30-13, Carroll College out on top.
This is the nimble Chevy.
Carroll College continues to lead with Montana's best graduation rate, generous scholarships, and top acceptance rates to grad schools, med schools, and amazing internships. With personalized attention to every student and an average class size of 14, it's no wonder Carroll has been voted the best college in Montana 8 years running. Campus tour, anyone?
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires. You know, we've been helping keep folks safe on the road around here since 1952. That's why you can save up to $152 on a set of 4 select light truck and SUV tires during our fall tire sale. All with a service you deserve, but just don't find other places. Swing by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
It was Christmas Eve when my customer called to let me know that my building was on fire.
My heart sank. It was a total loss.
My first concern was my employees and my clients. We've had this family business for more than 40 years. Payne West moved quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Payne West arranged a payment so Ron could start rebuilding his business.
And I am proud to say that I met every customer commitment that was made prior to the fire.
We experience what you experience. Payne West Insurance.
Saints out on top 30-13 a year ago. They averaged 16 points a game. They put up 44 nationally ranked Rocky here at home last weekend. And Williams will take that from the 10-yard line out across the 25-yard line. And the Lights offensively are back on the football field. They put 34 up on Rocky. They beat Arizona Christian in week 1, 20-14. But if you want to play in the Frontier Conference anymore, I'm telling you what, folks, you have got to be good. And the reason why everybody is so competitive is because of what Mike Van Diest did with this program, winning those 14 Frontier Conference titles. If you had to compete in those days, you had to get better. And the rest of the league did get better.
You know, not only did you have to get better, you had to get better. Boy, check that pass out.
Damari Kowal-Davis, what a catch. But how about the throw from Medina? That's one of the best plays we've seen all afternoon, Greg.
That's a touch pass, and that's when he's running, too. And that's a big throw. That's almost 30 yards through the air. I hope we get another chance to see it. But that's touch on the ball. That's what they call touch on the ball, Rocky.
Yards short of midfield. First down and 10. Medina keep it on the ground. Taylor hit right at the line, and Taylor driven down, and that will be for no gain at all.
Yeah, and Kresge out of his inside linebacker position. I talked about him last time. He's committed too soon, and that time he just held himself very cold, very cool, calm, and collected, and the way he took the tackle.
It's going to be second down and 10 for the Lights, just short of midfield here. Medina wants to throw, takes a hit from Sexy. Pass is complete. A gain of about 7 yards on the play. And making the catch for MSU Northern is Marvin Williams Jr. He's got 2 touchdowns in this game. Peyton Sexy, the senior out of CMR, with a great pass pursuit. He had a sack in that victory last week against Rocky. It's going to be 3rd down and long. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 here. They work for the 47-yard line. 4 wide receivers to go out. Quick release. Pass incomplete. It was there. Marvin Williams Jr., the intended receiver. I got to tell you a quick story, Greg, about Peyton Sexy. His dad, Doug, All-American football player for the Grizz. His mom, Sarah, is in the Hall of Fame running track for the Grizz. Now, when Sarah got engaged to Doug Sexy, she went to her grandmother and said, "Grandma, should I keep my maiden name or take my new married name?" Grandma thought for a while and said, "Take your new married name. Then you'll be sexy for the rest of your life."
Brilliant.
High snap, almost.
I think he got part of that,
that
actually.
one blocked. And on that rush was Jacob Clinton. 30-13, Saints out on top.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
On February 10th, I had my last drink and have been sober ever since. When I was in treatment for alcohol, they sort of told me not to worry too much about the smoking, and I definitely found myself writing that excuse for a long time. About 5 months later, I also quit smoking. Quitting smoking is possible. Quitting drinking is possible, and the life that you get to have afterwards is so much better.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. Performance, pride, and passion, 3 things that define the rich legacy of BF Goodrich Tires and the lasting partnership that we've shared over the years. Like the ever-popular BF Goodrich KO2 tire and all the Advantage TA line of tires, stop in and talk to your local performance experts at Wayland Tire and get set up with the right type of tires from the company that invented performance, BF Goodrich.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
Hall of Fame weekend, and in the booth we have one person that's been nominated and placed in the Hall of Fame, and Bruce Parker. This is a Hall of Fame vacation across this year. You're going into the Hall of Fame in many, many different areas. So talk to us about your career.
Well, it's good to be here with you, Greg, and Rocky. And Rocky let me use his headsets now. That's an honor. Multi-year sportscaster of the year, and I'm with now the superintendent of schools in Billings, Montana. And you know, Greg, I used to love doing football games with you. We had some great road trips, but yeah, it's been a great honor. And you know, I went in the NAI Hall of Fame in April, and then the National Athletic Directors Hall of Fame in June. This one today meant more to me than any of them. Going into the Carroll College Athletic Hall of Fame, this is where most of my career took place. And so many great people to see. I went in with Mike Van Diest and everybody that went in the Hall of Fame today. There was 9 that went in. Were all part of when I was the athletic director here. So that made it very special for me.
You know, Bruce, when I was sharing with Rocky that I was fortunate enough to be in Helen at the time. My son was fortunate enough to play in this program. Has a national championship ring. Our family was a part of it. Our daughter played at Carroll. You know, you had mentioned before, because I had asked you, what's different? Because it is different. And, the 6 national championships that Rocky has talked about and the statistics that go with it are just staggering. Bruce, how did it happen?
Well, you start with great kids, the student athletes, and they don't come to Carroll just to get a degree. They come here to be educated. And the coaches know that. And they become teachers and not just coaches. And Greg, you hear so often that it's kind of a trite phrase. It's the Carroll family, and it truly is a family. We saw people last night and today that we hadn't seen in probably 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, and it was like we saw them last week. They're friends forever, and it's just a great thing. But we're really pleased to be here this weekend.
Well, thanks for being with us, Bruce, and we're going to cut to a break here in a couple of seconds. We'll update you on the scores, but congratulations.
Thanks.
We're here to help anybody out who's trying to quit any form of tobacco. If you use cigarettes, if you use chew, dip, e-cigarettes.
I myself used to be a smoker. I'm like, I know what you're going through.
We ask you a series of questions to make sure that we're meeting your needs and concerns.
We talk about your stress, what your cravings are.
Slips and relapses are definitely a normal part of the quitting process.
We don't see that as a complete failure. We want to make sure you learn from that.
And that's why having a coach is so essential to quitting.
Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. So stop in today and let us find the right set of Michelin tires for you. If you value longevity, check out the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest lasting family of tires on the road. Whether you drive a car, minivan, SUV, or truck, you'll be able to do more for more miles. Come visit our team of experts at Wayland Tire so we can match you with the right tire for the way you drive.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
And the Lights have the football back, play action. Heavy pursuit, and he's going down. And guess who got the sack for Carroll College? Isaiah King. Well, Greg, it's not every day you get a Hall of Famer in your booth, but, I mean, inducted into 3 Hall of Fames in the last year?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the National NAI Hall of Fame, the Carroll Hall of Fame.
Are you even in the Great Falls High Hall of Fame?
No. I pulled a muscle that day.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Saints, 30-13. Carroll College out on top. The Lights have it. Going to go deep. Is that going to be a catch by Bumgardner?
They're calling it a catch.
Wow. There's a lot of contact there, too.
Yeah, they're letting them play. You know, they shifted
Watch
that.
this.
You know, watch Spearoff and Baumgartner battle it out here, and they're battling low with the hands. You can see them hand fighting the whole way. Baumgartner wins out that time.
Wow.
I'm impressed with the Spearoff as a freshman. He's got the tools.
It's going to be 1st down and 10 for MSU Northern from the 36-yard line. Medina, 16 of 24, picked off twice, 211 yards, and they keep it on the ground. And with the carry is Cameron Taylor. Now remember, they only had 24 yards rushing in the first half. They've got 52 yards on the ground in this game right now. 8 minutes and 42 seconds and counting down left to be played.
You know, Rocky, let's talk about that offensive line, because I've said they're undersized. You know, Simon, Simon, the tight end, he's 6'1", 220. The left tackle, Willis, is 6'5", 260. The guard is 6'3", 287. That's more in line. Center's 280 and 285 and 270. They're not real big people.
Medina is going to be sacked, and that is going to be Weber on the sack for the Saints of Carroll College.
Well, you see Carroll adjusting defense. When you call Isaiah King on a sack, that tells you that they're bringing corner pressure. They hadn't done that the whole day. And so they had to adjust to Roland's quick passes, and they've done that so far so well.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7. And you know they're going to go for it on 4th down if they come up short here. Quick pass is caught, a gain on the play of about 4 yards. And making that catch is Jake Horner out of CMR, the freshman. That's his 4th catch of the season.
They're working Stenerson a little bit on that outside, and now we got Isaiah King back up on top, and now you've got 4th and 5. This is deep into the game, Rocky. I mean, this is a very critical play, and I think they'll probably give Medina the run-pass option to see if they can get him freed or let him throw the ball.
Horner will come into motion on a 4th down. Medina, the pass incomplete, and that was deflected at the line. Was that Sexy that got it?
It looked to me like it was 94, Garrett Kokab, 6'3", 275 out of Phelan, California.
And the Saints will get the ball back on downs. How about this story? Peyton Sexy, his sophomore year, playing at MSU Northern, gets hurt in the first half, plays the entire second half, almost faints in the locker room after the game, gets taken to the hospital. Doug and Sarah, his parents, were notified. So they turn around, they head back to Havre. Then they get another phone call from the trainer. He's being air flighted from Havre to Great Falls Hospital, a lacerated kidney and liver.
That's scary, just saying it out loud. I mean, thank goodness the trainer knew what was going on. And, it could have been can you imagine him being on a bus headed back from Havre to Helena? Man.
Second out and 5 for Carroll College, 6:40 left to be played. The Saints, they've had 4 seasons in a row, losing seasons, and now they about to put together back-to-back W's, and Sipes breaks loose inside the 40. Sipes inside the 20, and he's caught from behind. How about Powell out of Orlando, Florida, running down the speedy Sipes to save a touchdown.
And Sipes, a track athlete, actually, Rocky, with great speed, and you can see it, and there aren't many players in the Frontier that can get that. And you see Sipes just start to distance his way out, and he's big and he's tall. So great effort by Northern to catch him. But you knew it wasn't going to be very long before they didn't get that ball in Sipes' hands. And looking at the whole game, when they need changes, they go at Sipes.
Sipes with 4 catches for 70 yards in a game.
Last week, Sipes at 117. And a 43-yard touchdown pass last week, a 42-yard touchdown pass this week. That's their gamer.
Boy, he is an athlete. 5 minutes and 56 seconds left to be played. Here in this third quarter, 30-13. The Saints are out on top. Their defense has been spectacular. Their offense, 253 yards in the game. Actually, Northern has more yards of total offense this afternoon. They have 293 yards of offense, and Northern's had the ball longer than Carroll College. 19 minutes and 17 seconds to 18 minutes for the Saints of Carroll. But this Frontier Conference, Greg, I'm telling you what, it is good top to bottom. Rocky lost again today. They've lost 2 in a row. The defending Frontier Conference champs, Montana Western, beat them, and now Rocky will be out of the poll. And if the Saints can keep going here, and they can be back in that poll for the first time in 4 or 5 years. Devin Bridgewater will come under center. That is rare. Bridgewater to the end zone. Touchdown, and making the catch is Tony Collins. That'll go for 10 yards. The Saints have scored again. Tony Collins, that is his second touchdown of the game.
Almost the exact same play that Northern had run in the first quarter and dropped the ball. Just a heavy, heavy play action pass and a delay out of the tight end. Good call.
And Collins has scored again. Josh Kraft for the PAT. And the kick is good, and the Saints have put up 37 points on the scoreboard. They lead 37-13. They scored 44 last week in a 44-7 win over Rocky. And, they could easily, Greg, be 3-0. This is the first game they played all season against a non-ranked opponent. Back on September 7th in Dillon in a game that I announced. They went up against number 25 Montana Western. That game went right down to the final play of the game, and the Bulldogs won 31-24. And Carroll had 473 yards of offense in that game. And then they got by Rocky last week, 44-7. They're leading big today over the Lights. Is it safe to say, and I know it's early, but can we say the Saints are back?
Well, I don't know if we can say the Saints are back, but I'll tell you this, they're different. And the play calling is on the edge. I mean, and I say that in a good way. Having coached defense my entire career, the hardest offenses to play against are the coaches that'll gamble all the time, because you can never be comfortable with what they're gonna call. And so, I mean, an onside kick in the first quarter after a second score pretty much says it all, doesn't it?
They just updated Sipes stats. 5 receptions, 125 yards, and a touchdown. It's kind of like the game he had against Tech a year ago, where he had 6 catches for 170 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had 187 yards in the first 2 games this year. And Kraft's kick's going to go into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And MSU Northern will take it on the 25-yard line.
You know what they don't say in those stats too, Rocky, is how many touchdowns that Sipes has set up in this game. He has the 1 touchdown pass, but his receptions, deep receptions, have set up 2 more. So he's the threat. And we saw it right from the opening part of the game. Purcell came out very first play and ran about a 40-yard post route to him. So he's going to threaten you with his speed, and you should.
Bumgardner split out wide to the right side. Horner is in at a wide receiver spot for MSU Northern. Medina back to throw. Great catch, Marvin Williams Jr. He's got 2 touchdowns in the game, and Williams brings that one down. That's his 6th catch. He's got 60 yards in the afternoon. The Lights are going with the no-huddle offense now.
How impressive is Marvin Williams, a junior out of Tacoma, Washington, Emerald Ridge High School. He's made some big catches today.
It's hard to believe he's playing NAIA football, as athletic as that young man is.
Yeah, he's very athletic.
First down and 10. Then you got Ryder Rice, all-conference All-American at Rocky a year ago, and now he's starting for the Montana Grizzlies. So, you want to compete at this level and you want to be one of the top teams, well, you have to have some of those Division I players. And, some of those players, Casey Fitzsimmons, you may go on and play on Sunday as well.
Well, I mean, when you go through the roster of the Carroll National Championship teams, it's pretty common to find Big Sky and Division I players who it didn't work out for them for whatever reason come to Carroll and play. It's sprinkled with some outstanding players. Just follow the story of Owen Keppen, the national MVP, defensive MVP from Utah. He went on a ski scholarship first, then didn't like that at Division I, then played at Weber and didn't like that and ended up at Carroll. He remembered Mike Van Diest talking to him at some point in time. And I'll tell you what, when you talk about linebackers, Owen Keppen was amazing.
Peyton Sexy back in the game for Carroll College. When I was in high school, Greg, and that was a long time ago, we were a basketball state, and we were a very good basketball state. Back in the day when the Cats and the Grizz would draw 5,000 or 6,000 for a regular season home basketball game. But today, the success that Carroll has had, the Grizzlies and the Bobcats, we're a football state today.
Oh, big time.
It's changed. First down and 10, 42-yard line for MSU Northern. The Lights, play action over the middle. What a catch inside the 30. It's going to be Williams again, and for the 3rd time this afternoon, Williams has taken to the house. That's 58 yards. Marvin Williams Jr., he juggled the football. He brought it home. He went the distance for a 58-yard touchdown.
So that's a perfect example. Let's take a look at the replay on this. So how has football changed? How has the sport changed, Rocky? This is it right here. This is what they do. This is what the coaches do. These are the type of athletes that they recruit to be on the teams, and this is how they expose. At any given time, any offense, the way they're set up, can score. It's exciting. It's electrifying, and, man, what a player Marvin Williams Jr. is.
37-20. Marvin Williams Jr. has just caught his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. I mean, he only had 2 catches in the first 3 games all season. And Marvin Williams Jr. has exploded in this game. He has over 100 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns already. How about you put Marvin Williams Jr. and Shane Sipes on the same team?
How about?
Wow.
Northern has exposed a weakness with Carroll, and Carroll's got some weakness in the seams in their defense because that's where they've attacked them. The touchdowns have come in the seams. They've come with Marvin Williams, their skinny posts, their curl-ups, but the safeties are too deep and the underneath coverage isn't getting deep enough, and Coach Rowland has found that. If you look back in Coach Rowland's coaching history, he's offense all the way from California to Havre, Montana. So hats off to finding those openings in defenses, but Carroll's going to have to do something to close the seams down because they've been gashed by Northern in those areas.
We got a lot of football left, folks. 5 minutes and 13 seconds left to be played. And it is 37-20. And the kick. And it's going to be taken at about the 7-yard line, across the 20, across the 25, across the 30. And Adams on the return.
Caleb Adams, 5'10", 185 out of McKinney, Texas. Do they play football in Texas, Rocky?
Oh, Texas and Florida. Wow. Montana Tech held on to beat Southern Oregon. 17-14. Southern Oregon.
0-4?
0-4. And in 2017, they were 12-1. They advanced to the Final Four. Wow, what a difference the season makes.
What a difference.
Saints will get it back. Major Ali. Can he make the corner? The 40. Major Ali gets tackled from behind near the 45-yard line. Well, how good is Burgess when he's starting in place of Major Ali? Major Ali is a sophomore. Had a couple of games he went for more than 170 yards. A year ago, he ran for over 700 yards. And now they have two of the very best backs in the Frontier Conference on the same team.
That tackle looked like Ty Erickson coming out of the barrier on the Bulldogging.
It's going to be 2nd down and 4. Snap back, and the flag is down, and a false start. 4:19 left to be played in the third, 37-20. Rocky Erickson with Greg Upham, the superintendent of School District 2. And how many students is that, Greg?
Well, the official enrollment on Thursday of last week was 17,102.
Wow.
And I'm not. The reason I know that is because I was giving a talk at Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch, and I pulled it for the talk. 17,102.
So what's the second biggest school district? Missoula?
No, it's the east side of Billings. I'm just kidding.
Devin Bridgewater scrambles out, finds Sipes, and Sipes drops it near midfield. What a scramble by Bridgewater.
Boy,
that was amazing.
Talk about arm strength, too. I think if we can get a replay, you want to see the arm strength of Bridgewater. Is, when you're rolling to your left and throwing back to your right, that's just awful hard to do. So watch him here. He gets those shoulders turned. Great fundamentally. This is hard to do. He throws this on a rope. I've seen Sipes drop a couple like that coming back at the ball. He's more going away from the ball when those hands work.
It's going to be 3rd down and long. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. The Saints are 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Northern just 1 of 8, and Northern's going to bring everybody. Bridgewater's in trouble, gets it out, pass is caught. It's going to be very, very close to a 1st down. Jaden Harrison, the return specialist, made the catch, and that is not a good mark.
This is funny now, Rocky, when you have head coaches that are offensive coordinators. So it's 4th and short midfield. This is where they struggle with whether they're going to punt the ball or go for it. And you can almost bet that if the head coach is an offensive coordinator, 4th and 1 midfield, they're going to go for it. So what do you think here? If the head
They're
coach
not even at midfield.
If the head coach is a defensive coordinator, they'll punt the ball.
How about a quick kick?
How about a quarterback sneak?
4th down and a yard. They're going to hand it off, and that's going to be Burgess. And does he get a good mark?
Yeah, the linesman.
Boy, that's going to be close.
Linesman up top showing about a half a yard.
I think
good.
he got it.
Yep.
I was wrong once before, though, Greg. That was a long time ago.
Back in '84, I think is what I heard.
1st down.
So there you go. As quickly as Northern can score, Rocky, it could be 27-37, and they're not into the 4th quarter yet. So this
is not over.
The Northern team is not going to go away. There's no way.
Well, the Saints go for it on 4th down. Burgess is going to find a hole across the left side, a gain of about 7 yards on the carry. Norby makes the tackle, and he's out of a place called Chinook, Montana. The Chinook Sugar Beaters. Farm broadcaster Russell Nimitz with an all-state quarterback. Of course, the most famous person to come out of Chinook is Mike Tillman. He played 11 years in the National Football League.
You know, we're looking at Burgess as a true freshman, Rocky.
That's
a true
impressive.
freshman.
2nd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. Burgess again hit behind the line and dives forward for a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd down and short coming up for the Saints of Carroll College.
You know, there's a reason that college is redshirt freshmen. There really is. The growth in that freshman year alone is unbelievable. I mean, you know, they come in as very thin little bowls of gravy, and they thicken quickly, let me tell you. And next year when we see him on the field, that's why he reminds me of Saraceni. Now, whether he'll get to that level or not, but he surely has the tools.
It's going to be 3rd down and a yard, tight end to the right side. I formation. Burgess gets the call, and he's going to be just short, but second effort, you got to give it to him.
I think the offensive line got behind him, gave him a little bit of shove there.
Without that shove, he would have not gotten that 1st down.
You know, that rule's changed in the last few years, Rocky. Do you agree with it? You see it in the NFL and major college, especially big run teams like Alabama. And, you know, you'll see it in the Patriots now are running power runs. And you agree with that? Because before you could not push your ball carrier forward. I like it, actually.
It adds to the game.
It does.
1st down and 10 Saints, 37-20. Carroll College out on top, under a minute to go. Major Ali back in the game, and Major Ali is going to lose a yard on that play. And that Northern defense been on the field a long time.
Yeah, and you see Coach Purcell maybe kind of backing off the gas a little bit, just because normally what he does, he likes to throw the ball on 1st down. He likes to be 2nd and short. That's his MO, and he's kind of backing off, playing the clock a little bit. And
Sipes split out wide to the right side. Sipes 5 catches, 125 yards and a touchdown. It's going to be 2nd down and a dozen. And Bridgewater, the snap went to the right. Bridgewater will run, and Bridgewater is going to be very close to that 1st down. And Devin Bridgewater, when he came into the program, everybody knew this young man could run. He scrambled for 75 yards in that big win against Rocky last weekend. Bridgewater over 25 yards on the afternoon.
You know that Carroll's in a 4-down territory now. It's 3rd and a long 6. And I'm sure Coach Purcell is saying that he's going to have 2 downs here to get it.
They're not going to get the playoff as this 3rd quarter has come to an end. 37-20, the Saints out on top of the lights.
At Carroll, we're doing everything we can to make college affordable. That's why we award over $24 million in scholarships every year. On average, cutting student tuition in half. Did we mention 99% of students receive scholarships? Sounds like it's time to get your applications in.
Montana. There's no place else like it. After all, it's why we all choose to live here. The vibe is different here. So when you find that perfect place for your family, we'll find the right home loan just for you. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
It was Christmas Eve when my customer called to let me know that my building was on fire.
My heart sank. It was a total loss.
My first concern was my employees and my clients. We've had this family business for more than 40 years. Payne West moved quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Payne West arranged a payment so Ron could start rebuilding his business.
And I am proud to say that I met every customer commitment that was made prior to the fire.
We experience what you experience. Payne West Insurance.
4th quarter, college football, the SWX game of the week, sponsored by your Montana Chevy dealers. 3rd down and 6 for the Saints. Bridgewater's got all day, and Bridgewater's going to air it out deep to Collins. He makes the catch, but he was out of bounds. The big target, Tony Collins, trying to get his third touchdown of the afternoon.
You know, Rocky, the tale for today, the storyline for the day,
is that Greg Upham is on the air with Rocky Erickson.
Is the Carroll College offensive line is for real. You see how much time he had to throw? I mean, they have absolutely done a phenomenal job. I mean, hats off to Coach, whatever his name is. My mind is going crazy.
Troy
to Coach Castens, Alex Castens, our offensive line coach. But, man, they are much, much improved.
A year ago, they averaged just 16 points a game, and their offense come into this game averaging more than 500 yards of total offense a game on the season. And it's going to be first down and 10. Play action. Bridgewater rolls left. Bridgewater dumps it out. Ferris makes a catch, breaks a tackle to 20, gets to the 15, and near the 10-yard line. Joe Ferris, his 8th catch on the season. He had 26 catches for 395 yards a year ago.
You want to see athleticism, watch him catch this ball. Watch how Bridgewater gets it out to him, and then he just flips it off. Turns it up, and then you just see an athletic move there, and then good speed.
Burgess makes the corner and gets to about the 10-yard line. And the Saints are getting close to 200 yards rushing this afternoon. 158 yards through the air. I'll tell you what, if you can establish a good rushing game, you're going to be effective at any level of football.
Yeah, and especially with the spread offenses, you know, when you can go to the run game and it'll produce for you, and then you have a spread scheme. And the spread scheme is designed for one reason. It's designed to score points, period.
37-20, the Saints out on top of the lights.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires. You know, we've been helping keep folks safe on the road around here since 1952. That's why you can save up to $152 on a set of 4 select light truck and SUV tires during our fall tire sale. All with a service you deserve, but just don't find other places. Swing by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What does our world need? Our world needs skilled technicians to give us power, farmers to bring in the harvest, nurses to provide care, teachers to give us hope, and you to give us a future. Prepare to give the world what it needs at MSU Northern.
And now the Saints have taken another timeout. 14 minutes, 9 seconds left to be played in this college football game. 37-20, the Saints are out on top. The Saints will be home against Montana Tech next weekend. And with Tech winning, well, there's a chance. You know, Tech could be ranked in the top 25, and it seems about right. That would be the 3rd-ranked opponent in 4 games to start the season for the Saints of Carroll College. For MSU Northern, no, the Saints will play at Southern Oregon, and it's going to be Northern. It's going to be home against Tech, and Southern Oregon falls to 0-4 with a loss today. Frontier Conference, I mean, top to bottom. You put MSU Northern in most any other NAIA conference in the nation, and they're going to do just fine.
Yeah, I like what Coach Rowland is doing at Northern. I mean, he has some players there. They didn't come in playing with the same level of emotion that I watched him play Rocky, for whatever reason. But I'm pleased with what I see, and I'm happy for their program.
The Saints from the 10-yard line. Major Ali is back in the game. And a Bridgewater flushed out the 15, the 10. Bridgewater takes a hit. Bridgewater's going down at about the 9-yard line. And Powell brings him down from behind.
Ooh, I see a little head-to-head on that one, and I was surprised, helmet to helmet. I was a little bit surprised that we didn't see that little yellow flag come out, because the corner comes up and really laces Bridgewater. See right at the end here, but he's got him stood up, and helmet to helmet, and they're very careful with this, coming in right about, you miss it, but that was a helmet to helmet.
It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Boy, how many timeouts these guys have. They ran like one play and 3 timeouts, 13:35 left to be played in the game. Saints out on top, 37-20. If the Saints hang on, they improve to 2-1 in the season. The last time Carroll College put together a winning record was back in 2014 when they won their 14th Frontier Conference title, and that was accomplished in the last 16 years. They went 9-1 in the Frontier, and in 2014 they went 10-2. And then they had 3 straight 4-6 seasons, and last year they were 5-6. So it's going to be 3rd down and short. 3rd down and about 3 yards. And Bridgewater is out of the shotgun. Sipes will come into motion for the Saints. And the pass is caught by Sipes, takes a big hit. And that is going to be a flag on Powell.
And that's, I think, the second time the helmet to helmet. And I'm sure the officials may have talked last time thinking, we might have missed one. But again, you see helmet to helmet. He's bringing the helmet, and he can't lead with the helmet anymore. You see him take a big shot here. Watch the helmet come down. Bang.
And a long official timeout.
Probably talking, Rocky, if it was a targeted hit, which changes the game immensely for the player because he'd be ejected. Let's see what they call. Still conferencing. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it was helmet to helmet, so it'll be if it was targeting. And that's the second time, I think, if that's the same player.
Will there be an injection? And now they take away the penalty.
I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Big day here in Helena, Carroll College homecoming game. Carroll College Hall of Fame Saturday. And Saints trying to pick up their 2nd win in a row. And Coach Purcell's not happy about that.
I think he wants the call. He gets the first down. Sipes had enough, but he wanted either the personal foul or the helmet to helmet target.
Noel Cicero leading the cheers. And Devin Bridgewater will come under center, 1st and goal, the 6-yard line for the Saints. A tight end will come into motion. Handoff, Burgess. Burgess, a 5, the 4 takes a hit, driven out near the goal line.
Coach Purcell working that clock, Rocky. Notice he hasn't put the ball much in the air since about 4 or 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, the great job they've done on the ground with that outstanding offensive line. Burgess, 114 yards and a touchdown. Major Ali, 48 yards and a touchdown. They're averaging 5.7 yards a carry as a team. It's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. Powerhouse backfield here. And handed off, first man through, Major Ali into the end zone. And a Major Ali has scored his second touchdown of the afternoon, and the Saints are on the scoreboard here in quarter number 4.
They did that the old-fashioned way, man. They just ground it out.
Carroll College lines up for the PAT. Josh Kraft, snap back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And it's 44-20. The Saints have put up 44 points for the second weekend in a row.
Whether you live in town, out on the farm, or a cozy cabin nestled in the woods, wherever you call home or choose to locate your business, Woodpecker Technologies has great options for your high-speed internet. Based in Montana, we provide quality service to communities and businesses throughout the state. For high-speed internet anywhere, call Woodpecker Technologies at 406-461-1941 or visit us online at woodpeckertech.com.
This is my leash and this is my life. I go nowhere without the oxygen. If I run out of oxygen at all for any length of time, panic sets in. I lost a lot of freedom. I want to go swimming. I want to go walking down the street. A lot of things I'd love to do with my kids and grandkids, I just can't do because this is literally my life. Every decision you make, you will base on how much energy and how much oxygen it takes. Your life is no longer your own.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Saints averaging more than 37 points a game this season. And remember, 2 of their 3 opponents were nationally ranked. A year ago, they averaged 16 points a game. So very, very impressive start to the season for Carroll College. They lead 44-20. Well, maybe it's just that home field, Greg.
Well, maybe, but I'm seeing an offensive line that's protecting a quarterback and opening up lanes for runners to run through. So,
and on the return, Cameron Taylor, the nice return out near midfield, and Cameron Taylor almost broke that for a touchdown.
He was close, Rocky.
Cameron Taylor was flying. Wow.
So Medina not quite as effective in those last couple series. Carroll making a little bit of change in their scheme. We'll see what, little. And see that penalty, it moves him back. See what kind of changes Medina makes. He's went to that short passing game, and Carroll did a better job of covering that, but found Marvin Williams Jr. most of the day today. Rocky. He's had a nice game.
He has been spectacular. A lot of football left. 12-18 left to be played here in the fourth. 44-20. We had a 2 o'clock kickoff. I think everybody else kicked off at 1 o'clock. Homecoming and Hall of Fame Saturday here. Medina on the first down and 10 gets rid of it quickly to Bumgardner. And Bumgardner gets out near that 30-yard line.
Spearoff just keeping the ball in front of him. It's hard to play corner. It's really hard to play corner when you're a freshman.
Yeah. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Saints down big, forced to put the ball up. Low snap. Medina is going to go deep, incomplete. And King there defending. Eisenbarth, who was the intended receiver. And all of a sudden, it's going to be 3rd down. Peyton Sexy will come back in.
They're able to get to Medina a couple times in this quarter. The offensive line did a nice job of protecting him. They just have not been able to run the ball. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of pressure from the Carroll. They're showing 6-man pressure. They'll probably bail out, but they may bring 5.
3rd down and 6. Medina, heavy pressure, gets the pass off, and guess who? Williams Jr. is not going to get a first down as he gets wrapped up by Quebec. They're not going to go for it on 4th here, are they? 4th and 4?
It's, there's 11:24 left, 44-20. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, the offense is staying on the field. Maybe they will.
I think they will, and I think they should.
Well, interesting call. It's going to be 4th down and 4 coming up for the Lights of MSU Northern. Out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure. Medina throws on the run. Pass is caught. Williams Jr. Was he inbounds? No. No catch. No catch.
Boy, that was a good football play, though, Rocky. I mean, it really.
Spear off again.
Watch this catch by Williams in our replay and the throw by Medina. This is almost uncoverable, and what they did was they just ran out of green space, but he went right to his best player. They let him roll into the strength of his arm, and you see a snap out of that quarterback, Medina, but look at this catch. Right up high, right by the fingertips.
Williams Jr. is a special player.
Yeah.
He is a very good NAIA college football player.
Smooth.
1st down and 10, 32-yard line. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Adams with the carry. Adams makes the corner, and then someone Adams gets about 13 yards from McKinney, Texas. Move the chains. A Northern player is hurt. And the Fighting Saints have more than 200 yards on the ground in this football game this afternoon.
And this is where the run games really take over. So, most of the 4th quarter, they just ran the ball for about 12 yards there. Purcell will stay on the ground here, and I'll bet you we'll see an average of, again, 7 to 10 yards per carry because of the dominance of that offensive line.
1st down and 10, 22-yard line. Adams again. Adams gets hit at the line, keeps his feet. Adams to about the 18, and a gain of about 4 yards for Adams there.
Jabari Powell from Orlando.
If there's going to be an MVP of this game, how about the offensive line for Carroll College?
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, both running and passing. I mean, Bridgewater's had all the time in the world to throw, and 200 yards on the ground says the big boys went to work.
10 minutes, 5 seconds left to be played. 44-20, Saints out on top. Full house backfield, and they hand it off. And Adams cuts to the right side, breaks 1 tackle. Adams a gain of just a couple. And they keep that ball on the ground, Greg, and it takes some time off that clock.
Jabari Powell again, the freshman. He's only 5'9", 175 if he has rocks in his pockets. But, man, he comes from the alleys. He's had the last 2 stops.
Another injured player, and, it might be cramping up as well. 9:32 left to be played. 44-20. The Saints are out on top. If the Saints win, they're going to go to 37-2 in the series against MSU Northern since 1999. The Lights have never won here in Helena. And a year ago when these two teams met, Ryan Arnson out of Helena High had a huge game. 267 yards and 2 touchdowns and a 56-17 win for Carroll. Second best rushing game in Carroll College football history. If the Lights come up short today, it'll be their 30th Frontier Conference loss in a row. The last time they won a conference game, September 17th of 2016 in Havre, when they got by the Saints 28-14. The only other win in the series came in 2006. It's going to be 3rd down and 5, a new ball carrier for Carroll College, and that is Grippin. Lee Grippin on 3rd down. He's going to be just short of the first down. He's out of Coeur d'Alene. Have you played the Coeur d'Alene golf course?
I have not.
That is something special.
I have not. I have been by it in a boat. Does that count?
Not exactly.
Oh.
It's going to be third down. Fourth down, rather. Fourth down at about 2. It'd be about a 30-yard field goal attempt for here, but, well, Coach Purcell is going to keep the offense on the field on fourth down and 3.
Game clock, play clock at 2. They're not going to get it off.
Burgess in the backfield. Bridgewater will come under center and delay a game. They just tried to get him on to go off sides there before they put in their field goal unit.
I don't know about that. I didn't see Coach Purcell was throwing something on the cleaning weeds off the field, maybe. I don't think he was real happy about that.
Well, Josh Kraft kicked a 32-yard field goal in the second quarter. He's 3 for 3 on the year. His long this year is 41 yards. This is going to be marked at about the 27. It'll be a 37-yard field goal attempt. Harrison to hold for Kraft from 37 yards out. Low snap in the dirt. The kick is up, and it is good from 37 yards away. And the Saints have put 47 points up on the scoreboard.
At Wayland Tire, it's service first, quality always. Performance, pride, and passion, 3 things that define the rich legacy of BF Goodrich Tires and the lasting partnership that we've shared over the years. Like the ever-popular BF Goodrich KO2 tire and all the Advantage TA line of tires, stop in and talk to your local performance experts at Wayland Tire and get set up with the right type of tires from the company that invented performance, BF Goodrich.
Wayland Tire, we know tires.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current competitive owners get over $6,500 below MSRP on this well-equipped Equinox. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
On February 10th, I had my last drink and have been sober ever since. When I was in treatment for alcohol, they sort of told me not to worry too much about the smoking, and I definitely found myself writing that excuse for a long time. About 5 months later, I also quit smoking. Quitting smoking is possible. Quitting drinking is possible, and the life that you get to have afterwards is so much better.
The Saints in their home opener with this 2019 season last weekend put up 44 points against the 23rd ranked team in the nation. In the Bears of Rocky, they put up 47. This afternoon, their homecoming game against the Lights of MSU Northern. And they have looked very impressive in this game. 393 total yards of offense and 220 on the ground. Kraft, he's kicked 2 field goals in the game, and that one, it hit the one return man, and that was Cameron Taylor. Then Jet Robertson picked it up. So the Lights are back on the field. The Lights, hey, they've got 375 yards in this football game.
And how many of them belong to Marvin Williams, Jr.?
Well, that would be 123 with 3 touchdowns.
What a day.
He is a special player.
Yeah,
There's no question about it. Number 19 is a very, very good athlete. Medina stays in a quarterback play action, and Medina throws over Peyton Sexy, and dropping the football is Kowal Davis.
You know, they're moving Medina around and have. He's not been in the pocket much because they just haven't been able to contain him. But
what a big day here at Carroll College. Homecoming. It's Hall of Fame day. I mean, we pulled into the campus. I couldn't believe all the cars.
Yeah,
I mean, that is. I mean, the tailgate is huge again. I mean, that is great to see. Medina flushed out, takes a hit. Medina's going down.
You've been calling Sexy's name all day. You know, he got on the outside and got Medina to step under where he didn't want to, and then Garrett was right there to clean it up. Looks like Carroll's doing a little changing of the guard. You know, what's different, too, in modern football, Rocky, we talk about it, is personnel changes. They build depth. You know, defensive lines are 7, 8 guys deep now because of the passing game and the hurry-up offenses. If you don't have 7 or 8 guys that can play defensive line, you're worn out, and they'll just score on you.
It's going to be 3rd down and long, 3rd down and 13 for MSU Northern. Play action. Medina airs it out to Williams, makes the catch and pays the price. Takes a big hit. Plot Leroy. But wait a minute. We've got Laundry back near the quarterback.
You know, instead of Williams icing after this game, he's just going to have to go underwater. I mean, the hits he's taken today and what he's done.
Well, you go over the middle, you pay the price.
You pay the price, and that's where they've gotten him the ball. And he has had a couple flag routes, big flag routes like that last one that he caught, but he's been in the seams. So, yeah, he's getting bounced.
That's going to be a hold. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to be played in this college football game. 47-20. Huge crowd, homecoming 2019 here at George Nelson Stadium. This is going to be 3rd down and 23. And Medina from the 2-yard line airs it out over the middle, and that went right through the hands of Kowal Davis.
And again, the seam was wide open. Carroll's struggling in that area. And I can guarantee you one thing, it'll get fixed this weekend, or next weekend, the ball will be in the seam.
And Hunter Riley is back to punt. He's going to be punting out of his end zone. Jaden Harrison to receive near midfield. And the Saints are going to have excellent field position again with 6.5 left to be played. 47-20. Carroll College out on top big. Hunter Riley deep in the end zone gets the kickoff. And that'll go out of bounds.
Now this is the most.
Devin Bridgewater made the catch on the sidelines, and now he's telling the crowd to get excited.
This is the most amazing part of football. When a punt is punted out of bounds, and the back judge walks the sidelines until the referee tells him that's where it went out of bounds. There's no way in the world that they're even close on those types of things. You know it, and I know it.
Not exactly. So we have a new quarterback as well. The new quarterback in the game for Carroll College is the quarterback who was the starting quarterback a year ago, Colby Colloy. So Colloy is now in at quarterback for the Saints with 6:16 left to be played. The Saints up 47-20, and the rest of the Frontier Conference, take notice. The Carroll College Saints are good this year.
They're developing 3 running backs, too. We've seen Major Ali have a big game. We've seen Burgess have a big game. And I like Caleb. He runs hard, Rocky.
Well, they've got more yards on the ground than they have through the air in this football game today. And they're going to keep it on the ground again. Adams finds a hole to 40, and Adams will get that first down. How about Colloy, the starting quarterback a year ago? As a sophomore, now he's backing up Devin Bridgewater. You know, they have depth at the quarterback spot. They have depth at running back. They have depth at wide receiver. And how important is that when you get into late October, early November?
Yeah, it's almost impossible to keep your starters, you know, all of your starters through the season.
1st down and 10. Saints, one more first down. They can ice this one from the 38-yard line, and Grippin with the carry. Grippin inside the 10, inside the 5, and that's going to be a touchdown. A 38-yard touchdown run, Lee Grippin, out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And the Saints have put up more than 50 this afternoon.
And the second half on the ground, Rocky. On the ground.
Lee Grippin with the long rushing touchdown. And Josh Kraft on the PAT. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 54-20, the Saints lead. 54-20. My scoring summary, I have no more room.
You don't have any more ink. 74 points scored. It's not the old 10-3 like you used to see in Vida. I'll tell you that. The world changed, Rocky, when you left Vida.
Boy, isn't that the truth.
There's more letters in Vida than people that live in Vida.
We still have a post office.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I think it's exciting, but wow.
I mean, how many sportscasters have you worked with that went to a 3-room grade school? And in Wolf Point, we graduated with 64, and I was in the top 50 of my graduating class, Greg.
I knew that first time I met you. I mean, right when you stuck your hand out, I knew that you were probably close to a valedictorian, at least had a couple of the letters, maybe a IAN at the end. I don't know if you were VAL at the front, but that's okay.
54 points, 443 yards of offense, 270 yards on the ground. The Saints have scored 4 rushing touchdowns. 4 of their touchdowns on the ground, 3 through the air, 2 takeaways. The defense, again, has been outstanding. And on the return is Cameron Taylor. Taylor on the run. He's got blockers, gets across the 30-yard line, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Carroll College will travel to Southern Oregon next weekend, and MSU Northern will be home up against the Diggers of Montana Tech, and that is not a fun trip all the way to Southern Oregon.
No, it's not.
First down and 10 for the Lights, and they've got a new quarterback as well in the game. And going to air it out deep, and catch made by Bumgardner.
A little double move there. You see that?
That was nice.
Bumgardner.
And now Medina will come back in at quarterback. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to be played. 54-20. First down and 10. 40-yard line. Medina out of the shotgun. Medina is going to go deep. Oh, no. Right through the hands. Kowal Davis. That would have been 6 for the Lights.
Yeah, and he had more than a step on T.J. Abraham. Oh, and T.J. Abraham is going to come off the field. Little conference with the coordinator.
Second down and 10, 40-yard line for the MSU Northern Lights.
Coach Pat Haynes.
Medina is going to send 3 out. Medina steps up to the line, airs it out, incomplete, and Parker defending, and now it's going to be third down and 10.
Medina fields that pocket, doesn't he? He just kind of steps up underneath it, and
he can launch that football.
Yeah, he's got some fire in that arm, that's for sure.
Medina, 23 of 36, 350 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns, picked off twice. Third down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Medina, pump fake. Medina flushed out. Medina's going down. Maybe a gain of a yard.
So Carroll doing a nice job of just closing that gap, and the offensive line, improving through the game. Of course, Carroll's got some of their younger kids in now.
Under 4 minutes left to be played. It's going to be 4th down and 9 for the Lights of MSU Northern.
See Marvin Williams Jr. way on the outside. Sure they'll work the sticks to him. 3-man pressure by Carroll.
Pump fake, gonna go deep, making the catch. Is that Marvin Williams Jr. again? Or is that number 16?
Can't see.
That is number 16, not number 19.
No, the corner fell down is how that came
Yeah,
wide
that's
open.
Horner.
You see the throw here in our replay.
Horner out of CMR.
Fell down and caught the ball.
He was inbounds.
Yeah.
Jake Horner did a CMR game last night. Remember the legendary Jack Johnson?
I do.
Coached 30 years at CMR before he had a losing season. Boy, what a 13 state championships, all-time record. First and goal at the 5-yard line. Medina over the middle, it's incomplete, and boy, you might say he was smothered.
Yep, no yellow flag either. Nice play.
And now it's going to be second down and goal. Clock is stopped. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left to be played. 54-20. Saints put 50 points up on the scoreboard. Snap back, Medina looking left all the way. Pass caught, Baumgartner, touchdown.
Stennerson not bad on the coverage, just a great football pass over the top, and good catch. You know, Northern can score, Rocky. I mean, they're putting up 26, maybe 27 here, so it's not like they can't get the football in the end zone.
Medina to Baumgartner. The extra point, snap back, kick is up, and the kick is good. No good. 54-26, our score. Wow. 80 points. Are you kidding me?
Exciting, though.
80 points put up on the scoreboard in this college football game. And let's look at the numbers. How about this, Greg? 433-yard total offense for MSU Northern, 443 for the Saints of Carroll College. You remember Northern, a couple of interceptions, the onside kick. 19 first downs for Northern, 24 first downs for Carroll College. And remember at the half, Northern had the ball, time of possession, more than the Saints, but the Saints with 31 minutes here in the second half, well, for the game, and 23 minutes for MSU Northern. And Carroll is going to get the ball back, 2 minutes and 58 seconds left to be played. 54-26, a shootout. Homecoming 2019 here at George Nelson Stadium in Helena. The Saints out on top, and the Saints they're going to put 10 people up on that line expecting an onside kick here.
Carroll lining up for an onside kick here, Rocky.
And instead, kicks it deep, fair catch called for. And the Saints will take over with 2 minutes and 58 seconds, 270 yards on the ground for Carroll College, 173 through the air. A lot of points, but a long football again.
Yeah, it has taken some time. I wouldn't have expected to see this much rushing yards. You know, I just wouldn't, but Carroll's pretty much scored in the second half on the ground.
It's going to be first down and 10 for the 25-yard line. And they keep it on the ground. And breaking loose for a big gain is Adams, and Adams gets near midfield. Wow.
Jabari Powell, the quick little corner, is about the only one that can catch him on the field.
And now the Saints are 4 yards short of having a 300-yard rushing game this afternoon. Wow.
Backs read that so well in that replay. You see how they set those blocks up, and man, the game is just advanced. It is so much fun to watch.
Tied into the right side, first down and 10, 3 yards short of midfield. And they give it off to Adams again, and Adams for about 4 more yards. Kaloy is the quarterback now. And 2:05 left to be played. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Saints.
You know, the one thing Northern doesn't have is they don't have depth. They're not, you know, they've got good players that are starters, but as I said earlier, you can't get away with 11 players anymore. You have to go into a game with at least 20 that are coming in and swinging all the way through the game.
Martin split out wide to the right side. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Adams again, and Adams gets up near the 45-yard line where he's driven down under 90 seconds left to be played in this college football game. And Greg, great to work with you this afternoon.
Yeah, it's fun. Same with you, Rocky. First time we've worked together.
Which is hard to believe.
Hard to believe. I'm not broadcasting as much as I was a few years ago, a couple of years ago, but it sure is fun.
Greg, the superintendent, School District 2 in Billings, and Billings plays some pretty good football. The Billings West High Bears have won 15 games in a row, the second longest winning streak in school history. They've the defending state AA champions, head coach Rob Stanton, his brother Jim Stanton, head coach at Billings Central. They've also won 15 straight games. They're the defending Class A champions. And you got Pete Stanton, the head coach at nationally ranked Dickinson State, and brother Dan Stanton won a couple of state championships at Miles City, passed away 4 years ago. Now that's a coaching family that's got to be one of the most famous coaching families in state history.
What do you think they talk about at Thanksgiving?
I always wanted to go to a Stanton Thanksgiving. That's exactly right. Adams again comes off the right side, gets inside the 40-yard line. Well, people make fun of Rob because Rob's not a Notre Dame fan. And I asked him why. He said, well, I had to be different. And that will put the Saints over 300 yards on the ground. And that is just rare, folks. Extremely rare in college football to rush for more than 300 yards.
You know, I've really been impressed with a couple players for Northern. I mean, we've talked about him all day long. Marvin Williams Jr., I mean, what is different there's for sure. And Jari Powell, you know, the corner safety, he's all over the field. And, boy, he has just stepped up today and done just about everything he possibly can for Northern. But hats off to what a player.
Victory formation. Cloy takes a knee. 54-26. Homecoming 2019. And that'll do it as the players will line up and shake hands. And the Saints will move to 2-1 on the season and look for Carroll to be nationally ranked next weekend. MSU Northern will fall to 1-3 on the year. And we're going to come back with a post-game show right after this.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army